This is the stuff dreams are made of. I'm writer-collector Ryan Condal.
And I'm writer-collector Dave Mandel. Good morning. Good yuntiv.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. I would not play the World Series, but I will record the stuff dreams are made of. So
No, good.
That's where I draw my line.
Yeah.
Because this isn't work. This is not work.
Well, this is your religion.
This is not fun either. This is sort of torture. So there's that. So yeah, because I'm
glad we've achieved that. We're recording our second episode after a 4-month layoff, and it's already absolute torture.
One seems so fun, but this,
it's like going out. It seems it's fun in the conception.
It seemed like a really good idea.
Yeah.
There's no other way of saying it because it is the thing that people. Hopefully, people are excited, but I am excited. This is why it is fun. Catalog Day.
Yeah, it's Catalog Day.
We've got a exciting entertainment memorabilia live auction, film and television treasures from the good people at Prop Store, happening November 3rd through 6th, I think, if I can read anything.
That's a 4-day auction.
Yeah. 4-day auction. There's one day that's rock and roll stuff, music and stuff, which I think is day 2. So it's actually days 1, 3, and 4. And we thought we would A, jump right into it. Bless you. And
Thank you.
B, we're going to do a little different. We're going to obsess a little bit on day 1 this year, and we might call out 1 or 2 things from days 3 and 4, but this is going to be more day 1 centric, if that's okay with our audience. And let us know, I guess, if it's not. If you miss us bitching about, day 11, Flintstones items, we're happy to sort of add that back in.
Back.
Yeah. But it does seem that the treasures of the film and television treasures are a little occasionally more in day 1. I think we can.
Yeah, I'm curious as to what the audience thinks, and you guys should write us and let us know. It feels like people do like the catalog, but I think people like the big sexy day, which is day 1. That's where the sort of higher value treasures are, and it feels like these are not casual listener episodes. These are definitely collector episodes. So we're just going to try it. We're also a bit up against it with schedule, and we just want to make sure that we get if we are going to page through the catalog, we want to get it out before the auction so that everybody has time to listen and decide what they're not going to bid against Dave and I for.
Everyone needs to decide what they're going to bid us up on. So I went the other way.
There you go. Either grudge bidding or fearful withdrawing. I don't know. Maybe a healthy combination of the two. But we're going to try it this way this time around. If you love it, write us. If you hate it, write us. We will adjust next time, because I'm sure another auction is right around the corner, because we're right there at the end of the year.
More auctions to come. Yes,
always more auctions to come.
But let's dive right into it.
Yeah, let's do it.
We've got Superman on the cover.
That's exciting.
Superman suit, which is really cool.
Do you have a Superman, Dave?
I used to have a Superman. It was very strange. I had a Superman, I guess it was top. I had basically the top and the red shorts, but didn't have tights, boot, or cape. And
you had business casual Superman.
Yeah, exactly. It was like or Donald Duck. Is that the phrasing? Donald Ducking, or no pants.
The no pants Superman.
So I had that, and I did let it go in a trade, mainly because there just did not seem to be much hope of ever completing it. And it's been many years at this point, and while I believe this is maybe the second complete suit that's ever shown itself, the pieces have never availed themselves. There's literally been no moment of my life where someone's been like, "Oh, hey, I've got those boots you needed," and I'm like, "Damn it!" So I don't know. I regretted getting rid of it, but I didn't like it without the completion of it, and so I will perpetually always look at a Superman suit. I will say, however, for the record, you cannot argue with me. I do not care. as good as this suit is as creepy as this mannequin is. I love Christopher Reeve as much as anybody. This is fucking creepy. I cannot stand the way it looks. It freaks me out. I'm sorry. It really bothers me.
Yeah, the realistic
Yeah.
heads are always tricky. I mean, I like the pose in the mannequin.
The
I think,
pose is fine. And
yeah,
were those hands gray or
yeah,
white and that head just sort of a blank white head or such?
yeah,
More power to you. Creepy, creepy,
yeah.
creepy, creepy.
Well, you could. I mean, if you,
I'm not opening a wax museum. I'm just, I don't know. It bothers me in conceptually this kind of displaying. It's not.
if
Yeah,
if you did purchase this,
yeah.
you could always change the head out. I actually liked Brandon Allinger showed me something that he was working on that they had done in the, I think, in the Warner Brothers archive style, where they do a kind of artistic representation of the head. So it's almost like a kind of brutalist statue version of the head, so it like suggests it's not a caricature, but like it's a very simple shape that suggests the head. So when you look at it, you would know that it was Christopher Reeve, but it's not attempting to be
I
exactly
can
him, and it's just done
I
in a flat
understand that
museum gray.
in a single cut. And by the way, even this with the face, maybe did it were it, I don't know, just sort of white might be okay. It's I don't know, it's the flesh color. I don't know. It really gives me the
Yeah,
creeps. I don't know what else to say. It's just I don't know, and the eyes and I don't know. Ah. Great
but
great piece.
it's a great
Great
costume.
piece.
Yeah.
Great cover, except it's really creepy.
But that's the thing. I mean, you can always. That's the nice thing about a display is that you can always change out the display. It's the
No,
piece that's the hard thing
certainly
to acquire.
doable,
Yeah,
all doable. This comment is not
but you
particularly
hate it.
valid about collecting. It is just don't put your
Yeah,
stuff on mannequins like this. It's just really
yeah.
more a
The eyes
word to
follow
the
you across
wise.
the
Yeah.
room.
Yeah. Really
Um,
odd.
Well, we'll get there when we get
Yeah,
there
we'll
in
get
3
there.
hours.
And
But when we get to SU after ST, Dave, very exciting.
very
Um,
exciting.
but let's start as we always
Let's
do with
just dive
2001.
in. Let's start with a 2001 fork. And oh my God, it's not a
It's not a
2001
fork.
fork. Yeah.
This is actually very
But it's
cool.
interesting. Yeah, very actually really neat. Concept model from 2001. And we've spoken a bunch about, I believe, the fact that Stanley Kubrick basically tried to destroy all the models, and that very few have
Yeah,
survived, and
and the
the ones
actors,
that
I
did
think.
were um, and I believe the ones that have existed have sold for a lot of money and are now at
Hmm.
the Academy Museum. Uh, this is pretty darn cool. Again, a piece of Kubrick. There's no other way of describing it. And obviously, uh, just the significance of the work that went into that movie and the personnel, and it begets Star Wars as well. I mean, in its
Yeah,
own way, this miniature work, and just pretty cool. And I'm not always the biggest on you know concept models and prototypes and things like that. Screen used when humanly possible. But this would certainly be something that doesn't really is not humanly possible most of the time. And yeah, the idea of something that sat on a table and Kubrick sort of, you know, touched it and moved it around and gave crazy notes on it. I just there's something about that. I really dig the
yeah,
idea of. Yeah.
yeah. I think the kind of making of the movie aspect of this one, because of the importance of that movie. Certain movies rise to that level, and I think 2001 is definitely one of those films where really anything made even in the pre-production of that movie to me is interesting.
Yeah, it's one of those movies where at this point I've actually read probably multiple books of making of 2001, which
Hmm.
is, the kind of thing you can only say about a handful of movies. I've definitely read a lot of 2001. I've read a lot of, making of Star Wars, and there's only a couple of that sort of make the list of multiple versions of making ofs. You know what I mean? Where
Yeah,
one wasn't enough. In 2001, I mean, you can bury yourself in script details, the
yep,
model work. I mean, it's just fascinating the way he went about it. Just yeah, I think Kubrick fans. So better than a fork is what I guess I'll simply say.
better than a fork.
pretty cool. Really early, boy. Shoot your wad first one, and
Yeah.
you're done for the
Although a
day.
fair estimate,
Yeah,
I think, on that,
yeah.
15 to
I'll be
25.
curious to see where it goes, because I do think,
Yeah.
again, something that's not out there. The
Should we
second
roll
one
on?
I got very excited about, but it's actually just a replica,
Yeah.
and a very nice replica. But moving on.
Yeah.
Um, uh, 310 to Yuma, Spartan. I'm a fan. 48 Hours Suit, which I feel like we just saw, unless wasn't that in was that from the Joel Silver? That was was that a heritage
I don't
piece?
remember.
I
Yeah. Yeah.
think
Heritage had the Joel Silver
so.
stuff. I don't remember.
Yeah, so someone must have bought, I'm guessing, bought it there and stuck it in here. That's my assumption. 8 Mile. I'm actually a fan of this movie, which there's actually, talking about days
God,
3
it's
and
been
4.
20
There's a
years.
couple
I'm
of
so
pieces.
goddamn old. 20 years.
There's a couple of pieces in, I think, the day 3 auction from Adjustment Bureau, which is a movie I've always thought was very fun. Um,
Mm.
and they actually have one of the notebooks that they have,
Yes.
like the running through the gates, and obviously that was all special effects, but they actually have one of the versions that's in there, and that's a day 3 thing. So I happen to have peeked at that. But I like Adjustment Bureau. I always liked sort of the other hats, these sort of more sort of Mad Men-y hats. This is sort of the Matt Damon hat, but these are, I don't know, it's cool. So anyway, I do like
Yeah.
that movie. Yeah.
Yeah. That's lot 9.
9, yep. An address, and also from Adjustment Bureau, which again, I don't know, not necessarily for me the key prop, but I do like the movie.
Next thing for me is
Alien.
12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, 11 is Ripley's axe or hatchet from Alien, and
Hachet, I
then
think.
oh yes, the French. No, now that you're living in the UK, I understand that.
That's right.
Number 12, Brett's hat from Alien, which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
Um,
that's really good. I'm actually
yeah.
surprised that they're not saying that's matched. That feels like something that would match, but I don't
Oh,
know.
that's interesting. Yeah, I would
Just because
think
that
with
stuff
at
is all
least,
custom made and sewed on there, and
yeah,
it's
the way
It's Harry Dean Stanton's ball cap.
the stitching on the patch and whatnot, it seems like you'd be able to. I, and everything is blurring together, but we've seen this before as well, a few auctions back.
I would say it's been a long time if we
You think it's
have.
longer? Okay, I feel
Yeah,
like though it has existed.
it
Again,
might.
this is not. This is not. I don't know where I'm going with this. It's not a. It's not a criticism. It's just. I'm always intrigued by what is truly like a discovery, and what is just something
Mhm.
sort of not. And again, I don't mean recycled in a bad way, because recycling is good, everyone should recycle, but I'm just always kind of curious of what's a revelation, as opposed
Yeah,
to,
fresh to
oh, that's
market.
great, but yeah, fresh to market. There you go, there you
Yeah,
go.
did it
Yeah,
come from a collector or did it come from
yeah,
a
a
muggle,
source or
a
whatnot.
crew
Yeah.
person, right? But great
um
piece either way. I mean, I think that's a cool Alien collection all in one. That's one of those. It's just exactly what it is. It's got the Nostromo uh, name on right on the patch. It's very
yeah,
recognizable. And
great memorable character, great
Brett,
memorable
yeah,
death. I mean, that's kind of
right,
what you want in an Alien piece to some extent. So yeah,
right,
kind of neat.
right,
um
right, right.
Ripley's stunt stand-in jumpsuit, which I thought was actually really cool as well.
I think this is
um
cool. So
yeah.
this is somewhat of a recycle because this one bounced around
Yep.
in heritage slash profiles a bit, and everybody was sort of like, it looks too right to be totally wrong, but something's not quite right about it, the color. And then I think it was discovered that it was not Sigourney Weaver's, it was the stunt or stand-in jumpsuit. So it's not Sigourney's, and the estimate used to be quite a bit higher. But this is very cool. I mean, it's labeled. It's definitely a Nostromo jumpsuit. It was used in the film, and I think it's I don't know. I think it's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, that sort of that line of, the stunt stand-in. Well, stunt-wise, it it's in there somewhere. You know what I mean? It's most likely in there somewhere. I know it's not necessarily screen matched perfectly, but it's in there somewhere, I feel like. And the label, the custom make, again, it's sort of like, I I always, even when it was in its first incarnation, it always felt like something that, that's the
Yeah.
easiest way of putting it. And I don't know, I always get a kick out of it. Again, not sure I'm buying it, but I've always gotten a kick out of it. And again, a key memorable piece wherever that fits into the world. So yeah, I did like it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Cool.
some Lippincott photos.
Yeah.
Two pieces that I actually did sort of stop on, which is 15 and 16. These are pieces, I guess, for lack of a better word, I've just always kind of wanted something like this in my collection. The first is just an alien egg, just a simple egg,
An egg miniature.
from egg miniature. So not that big, but I think it would always just kind of look cool in a cabinet. I know that's the easiest way, and not a ridiculous price. And then a face hugger from Alien, of which I like the display. I'm not 1,000% convinced of the display, but I get the display. I almost, again, it's like I almost might have put it on a white blank head, but
Face,
I understand it. Or, by the way, a glass head, a glass
right.
like
That could be
shape
cool
of a
too, so you
head,
can see all
which
the
I
way
guess
through it.
is sort of what it's suggesting.
It's
It's
trying
a
to do,
little labby for me, I guess. And I see what it's doing. The graded floor, sort of a little bit of like the ship's floor. So I understand the display. I do, and it's well done and all of that kind of stuff. But obviously it could also be redisplayed. But anyway, I've always gotten a kick out of these sort of pieces from Alien, and always kind of, wanted an egg or a face hug or whatever. And I'll definitely come back and stare at these. That's the easiest way of putting it. I just think they're really neat. They're really, to me, what that movie was about as much as anything. And I don't know, just be fun to have is how I guess I've always thought about it.
This would be
this
fun to
was
have.
cool. Sorry, speaking of things that would be fun to have. Is it with this? Would you have the room for this, Ryan? Are you ready to?
No,
finally,
yeah,
no.
unfortunately, I just don't. It's the dropship studio scale model miniature from Aliens. A very reasonable estimate too, I think, for given what it is. I mean, it's just huge, and I know who has this or who's consigned this. I've seen it in person. It's really cool. The color is great. All the details are great. It's these things are kind of amazing. But it's like coffee table sized. It's not like having a car in your collection, but it is coffee table sized.
No,
but this thing is awesome.
It's
and
really big. I mean, this is like you need it. It's, I guess I'll say, you sort of need some sort of prop room, and maybe even more, almost like a, really a dedicated space. Let's start with that. And let's be honest, this is going to be very difficult to hide from your significant other. Let's just be honest. Yeah, you're not just putting this in a cabinet and kind of going, "Oh, is that new?" No, it's sort of
this old
like,
thing.
yeah, where did that giant
that
ship on our coffee table come from? So yeah, but fantastic. I mean, a Cameron miniature. I mean, again, it's sort of
put your marriage on the express elevator to hell.
Going down. But just, I mean, I have a toy version of this. I like it so much.
They're awesome.
It's just fantastic. I guess this was used for both versions, so it's got labeling on different sides, I guess, or something like that. I was reading, like, just in terms of which one it's stood in for both.
Both versions of the dropship, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yep, because there are two different dropships.
Yes, destroyed one and then the second one, and just fantastic. I mean,
great design,
really great, incredible design. I mean, this is that, and again, that sort of Alien 2 sort of military first thing. This thing shouts that out. It's the design of this movie is all over this thing, so in a great way. Really wonderful. I guess neither of us are buying it, but still really wonderful.
But neat, and someone should.
Yeah.
Moving on, we've got a lot of Alien stuff.
Yeah.
At lot 18, a Hero Alien 3 pulse rifle, very close to the one owned by one of the co-hosts of this podcast.
Which one?
That's true. Well, you.
Yes.
So this is an Alien 3 version because it's black and
painted black. Yes, exactly.
Strata's vacuum form, but this is a hero and it's really awesome. And again, I think the estimate is bang on. I think there should be some action in there. This is just really cool. And if you've ever wanted a real, hefty toy for big boys, prop from Aliens, this is a great one to have.
As someone who has one of these sort of painted black, but it doesn't bother me in the least, but also it's just great. And this one's a hero. I mean, there's no other way of expressing that. Yeah.
Yeah, these don't come up. So if you've been umming and ahhing about it, this is the one to jump on. Lot 19. This is very cool, Dave. So it's Hicks's keep this one around for close encounters, his shotgun, which is actually very cool because it's an Ithaca. It's based on an Ithaca shotgun. The base is that, but there's also a bit of a like a World War II grease gun built into the back of it. So the handle is different.
That
to make
weird it circle handle thing is
to make to make it a pistol grip, because I believe the Ithaca. So I believe I was just recently on a podcast talking about the original Terminator, and I believe actually this is the same style shotgun that Hicks steals in not Hicks. Reese.
No, Hicks.
Hicks. Yeah, it's Hicks. It's all Hicks. Steals in Terminator. So he actually used an Ithaca in both of those, but that is a traditional sort of non-pistol grip shotgun with the kind of flat, the regular shotgun grip. So I think this was modified. I think in
defense of the armor, they had this gun back when the other guy was still playing the part, so it wasn't as much a tie-in.
Yeah. Well, sorry.
Wasn't Michael Biehn was a later ad? It was
No,
first.
I don't. Yes. I'm not making. Yeah. I'm not suggesting there was a tie-in, but it's just it's a clever bit of.
I'm just saying it became more clever later because
later on.
Yeah,
yes,
once
before James Remar
exactly
washed out. Yeah, but no, this is super cool, and it's been modified so that there is a custom aspect to it, just like the pulse rifle, and I think there's only one of these, so that's the one.
There's a stunt version, because back when I had when I had Hicks's armor, I had the stunt version, and I always had sort of thought about this piece. I knew where it was, and the seller was amenable, possibly. I mean, I think he was open to a deal that I never quite tried to do, because I had the stunt, which doesn't look a third as good because it's kind of bent a little bit, and kind of its age is showing on the stunt. The rubber, it just kind of, you just don't want a gun that's bent. It looks like it's out of some kind of a cartoon or something. But this is pretty great.
To it.
Yeah. I mean, this is it's a huge. This is another great.
We're on quite a run here.
Yeah, and I mean, this all sort of this blurs together, which is there's some incredible alien stuff to begin with, and then we're going to get to old friend of the show, Harry Harris, selling his alien collection. So before we get to the Harry Harris, we've got lot 20, which is a lot of Apone's armor with some other pieces in it. And obviously you kind of have to read the descriptions of these things to kind of understand exactly what's what, but a large chunk of Apone and then a couple of other pieces, kind of a thing, but still pretty great. Yeah.
Anybody who buys this and just wants Apone body armor, I will purchase your Hudson Greaves from you. So if you do win this and don't want them, write me, because I would like to have that set.
Which is possible, by the way. I mean, I could see someone, because you buy this for like, let's say £60,000, and you sell the Greaves to Ryan for like £50,000, and you're good.
There you go.
You get the whole thing for 10.
Job done.
Hell of a deal. Is this the Apone helmet that had been around? Did somebody put it to get? Do we know? Did somebody? I wonder. I was thinking about that. Remember, there was
a replica helmet.
Oh, it's a replica. Okay, I didn't read that. Okay, nope. So there is an Apone helmet out there.
There's
that too.
Yeah, that's been in a private collection for a long time. But yeah.
All right. Well, never mind. Never you mind then. So let's jump into Harry's collection, and
which is incredible.
I think we'll start by saying, just because I think this was going to be very interesting, is we're going to have Harry on, and we're going to talk to him when all's said and done a little bit about this, making the decision to, we're going to do an episode about sort of making the decision to sell your collection and kind of get
To
into
let
his brain a
go.
little bit, to let go. Yeah. The whys and whats, and just kind of talk about it. Cause I think it will be really fascinating. I think it's something collectors contemplate, and I think about, and some do and some don't, and some can't, by the way. And I think that's going to be really interesting. So that's to come. But for right now, today, let's just look at this amazing, amazing collection. And It starts with Hudson.
Yeah. That's
What do you see when you see this?
yeah, I mean, it's really cool. I know this one has never been matched to the film,
Right.
but that's, but I still, the history on it is really good, and the provenance on it is really good. And the provenance of it being from Harry's collection to me is really just as good as being from a studio at this point, because Harry's had this stuff, much of this stuff, since the late 80s, early 90s. I mean, he was collecting when no one was paying attention to any of this. And it's Hudson, it's his breastplate. I mean, there you go. And I think there's some original camo in here.
Yep.
And it's just, look, it's awesome. There's an original groin pad, which is from Crow, I believe. Crow's groin pad. So there's a bunch of original Marine stuff on here. Hudson camos and all that. This is great. It's great. You should bid on it and feel good about it.
It's great looking. I mean, it really, really is. It's just pretty fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and look, I jump right to the next thing, which is the screen matched Bishop.
Yeah.
Lance
Screen matched
Henriksen's
Bishop. Again, memorable character. I've never seen this costume. I mean,
No, yeah.
never seen this. I mean, this is insane.
And it's a custom head to toe Sulaco costume from one of the coolest characters in the film. He survives to the end. He saves the day. And to me, this is, anybody who's an Aliens fan, this is an Aliens collection right in all-in-one right there. If you love the film.
I actually, and when do you ever get to say this? I think that price is ridiculously low. Am I allowed to say that? I mean, I guess it's priced to move, and I'm sure there'll be action on it. But boy, oh boy, oh boy, on the off chance you actually got it in the range of estimate, you'd be I'd be the happiest person in the world. It is, I don't know. I love this piece. I don't know. I guess, when you think about when that movie starts and you meet those characters, even before you quite when they all come out of the chamber, the sleep chamber, they're all a little bit of a blur. You haven't quite figured out who they are. You start to figure out who they are like very quickly, which is a credit to Cameron. But Bishop, and then of course the robot from the original movie, like that whole connection, and oh my god, and how freaked out Ridley is, and then of course the knife
he
trick,
prefers artificial person.
Yes, Dave. Yes, sorry. But I don't know, I love this piece. 23 I thought was cool too.
Drake, great character.
Really, really neat. I think I told the show I met the actor at the last prop store event. They had
Mark Ralston.
I had a little showing, got a nice picture with him. That was pretty cool. And I love the character. Great costume. 24 is his
screen match.
Screen matched headset.
Smart gun headset.
Really, really, really cool.
And it's got the painted, the graffitied eye over the eyepiece, which is just awesome.
Which is so Drake. I mean, they, those little touches on the armor and stuff like that is just part of what made that movie so incredible. And then followed up by his dog tags. So, again, 23, 24, 25, your Drake collection, but just really cool. God, Gorman's, both of his outfits, the dress, and then
it's awesome. I love the dress one. It reminds, it's so evocative of that scene where he comes to recruit Ripley, and has the officer's hat under his arm.
Nerdy and really, when you just look at it, just inexperienced. I mean, I don't know. It just again, just a very simple costume, but really great. And again, I've never seen any of this stuff. This is. I mean, again, I look forward to talking to Harry about it, but I mean, credit to him. I mean, this is truly I almost wish, we talk about provenance a lot, and obviously the Harry
Mhm.
provenance is so good, and you almost wish there was a way, and obviously the seller will know, people who buy it, and they'll have, whatever COAs and whatnot. And I think certainly when this stuff gets resold someday, as it I'm sure will, it will behoove the owner at the time to continue Harry's name as, part of it. Like, when that, like if you go to sell something like 5 years, the Gorman costume, the Gorman costume purchased from this auction from the Harry Harris collection. I think that will be important. It is almost the kind of thing with a prop, and it's really impossible to do, where I almost wish there was some way the Harry Harris marking could be imprinted upon it. Do you know what I mean? That would
Mhm.
be there forever to indicate it was from that collection. Obviously, we don't, seal stuff in plastic like a CGC comic book where you could, you could denote it from a collection. But this is one of those times where, just the source, I think, is so great. I don't know. That's my own weird
Yeah, agreed.
opinion, but yeah.
Agreed.
Um, this stuff is all great. Torch pack, you don't see
Yeah,
those around.
the shoulder
Yeah.
lamp. I thought about that, but I think I like my little torso the way it is. Although if I'm going to end up with Greaves, I don't know. I might be on
If
the
you
way
got
to a.
those $50,000 Greaves, you might need these. Yeah, you might need this. But I mean, but again, just great to see.
Yeah, you could buy this at auction and then sell it to me for more than you bought it
Yeah,
for,
just
and then
double it. Ryan will
yeah,
just buy it.
that's
Yeah,
right,
no, yeah,
sucker.
yeah. We've got the two. Was it Farrow and
Farron
Spunkmeyer?
Spunkmeyer,
And was it the
great
last
duo.
profile? No, sorry, the last prop store, the big LA one, had
Their
helmets.
helmets. Yeah,
Yes, so I wonder if that person is out there. But here
there
are
you go.
your yeah, because boy,
Finish
those
off
would
the
look good
collection.
together. Those would look really good together.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, I think these look great unto themselves, but boy, you add the helmet, that'll really be something.
yeah,
Uh, boy, alien feet, those are kind of great. They look in nice condition too. Uh, just kind of
yeah.
cool. Uh, we got a gun. Is that Gorman's gun?
That's I mean, you see Frost use that
Okay.
style of weapon in the when they get all of their ammo taken away. He pulls out the VP-70. I mean, it's a cool gun. It's a sort of retired kind of weird archaic Heckler and Koch model of weapon. I believe it's double action only, so it doesn't have, it's hammerless. It doesn't own single action, but it's an off the shelf model.
It's a little
So
more off the shelf, a little less
yeah,
the world of James Cameron, but
correct,
still
cool.
neat. And I like this. I like this little model, this
The dump
little
truck,
the
yeah,
dump truck.
and it's screen matched,
Yeah.
and
And
it screams aliens to me.
yeah,
I don't know.
very memorable of just just that, what we get to see of that world, we get to see it, and it's just I don't know, just speaks to the colonization and all of that. So I don't know, I got a kick out
Yeah,
of all of this. Again, amazing stuff here. I think for the aliens collector, but especially in this case, I'm gonna put the emphasis on the aliens with Harry's stuff. And yeah, boy, oh boy, oh boy, I'm coming back to this section myself. But
yeah.
boy, this is
And is it?
this is impressive. I mean, it's incredible to see. This will be worth keeping as a catalog, just to keep this reference. I mean, honestly, I think just seeing Harry stuff like that, and
And
I
just
do
as
look
a
forward to
Harry,
talking to him. Yeah.
yeah, as a Harry Harris fan, I'm hoping it does well because
Yes, I hope it does fantastic, and I hope it does everything he wants, and all of that. But boy, really neat. Um,
moving along.
yep, American Psycho business card display, that makes me laugh just because of
Yeah,
the significance in that movie.
is
I
it
get a real
bone one?
Yeah, exactly. I get a real kick out of 36, which is a clapperboard, screen match clapperboard from, I guess they're calling it a transformation clapperboard,
Yeah,
from American Werewolf in London, a movie I do really love. And
from the transformation scene,
yeah,
which is huge.
yeah,
And I mean, that would
obviously
be the clapper to
famous. Yeah,
have, right?
pretty wonderful. Um, and then they've also got a Griffin Dunn hand, which is very fun, from when he's sort of a little
Yeah,
more zombified and popping in and saying hi, which is
yeah.
kind of fun. Yeah. But I do really I love the clapperboard. The hand's good too. You get the hand, you can put it on the clapperboard as if the
Oh
hand
yeah,
is
that's good.
working the clapperboard. You make your
Ah,
own
very good.
display with
Yeah.
a Christopher Reeve creepy head behind it too. Yeah, you got to do that. Um,
Let's not frighten the children. Uh,
Armageddon miniature,
yep.
interesting. Ash versus the Evil Dead. So that's a TV version of the Necronomicon. That was a fun show. I knew some people that worked on that. A bunch of Austin Powers stuff.
Yep.
All very enjoyable. I stopped for a second at 47, only because it's an Avengers Age of Ultron clapper, and I like all the Marvel stuff. I always like to look at. I always get a kick out of After Party is what they called it. I guess when they were making it, they called it After Party, which I don't know. I enjoy those sort of the Blue
That's funny.
Harvests of the world. It's kind of
Yeah.
interesting. Black Widow, Captain America. It's all interesting. Very pieces, I guess I'll simply say, but the star from his chest, that's kind of neat. Brings us to Back to the Future section.
There's a hoverboard.
What? No. Finally.
Yes, at long last.
Yes. 2 hoverboards.
There's 2 hoverboards.
Yeah.
The first is a Marty McFly, the Mattel one, and the second is Spike, one of Griff's gang, which actually this is a very cool hoverboard. I like the gang hoverboards because they feel they're more, that's what that character actually would have bought, and it's more descriptive of the character versus the Marty one, which is he just steals it from a little girl, which I guess in itself is descriptive of his character.
Although it is sort of, it's very pink and I guess girly. So
it's Barbie.
It's an incredibly memorable prop. It's a great prop. This looks like a really good one, just in terms of the little details and the build and everything. It's fantastic. We are fully jaded. There's just no other word for it. We've seen so many of these things. And I hate talking about the money, but I am always curious at this point with these hoverboards because we've sort of seen them climb the mountain and then now come down a bit, at least from the high that seemed to more than anything bring even more of them out. Is that an apt way of describing? I don't know how else to describe it. And obviously they're not going to sell for free, obviously, but the crazy numbers, which I think continue to bring them out, I'm not sure we're going to see those numbers either. I'm just now at this point, I'm just always curious, like how many hoverboards can our market hold? Are there just that many people that want one? Is there just always new buyers going, my turn? Again, it's a conceptual question, and I don't mean to make it about the money, but I am just curious. This is a real, I don't know. It's almost like is the market index at this point just simply what a hoverboard sells for at any given time, and that's how you know if the market is hot or not. I don't know.
I wonder if this is where there's finally a deal on one of these things. So, but we shall see.
But is this the deal, or is the hoverboard that's already in the next auction the deal? You know what I mean? There's just still so many of these things. I do think, there was a time years ago where and you'd hear this from like guys that would do autograph signings, where you reach a point where if you're out there doing, trying to sell your autograph at every show year after year after year, your autograph is just you just run out of people that want your autograph and what you can charge for the autograph. And the smart guys were the guys that were just sort of okay, I'm going to take a 10-year break. I'll be back in 10 years when people really fucking want my autograph. And I don't know. I guess what I will simply say is, look, if you bought your hoverboard for $5,000 and you're looking to cash out, you're going to make some money. Let's be honest. You know what I mean? If you bought it, 20 years ago, you're going to make some money. If that's the goal. But I certainly think if I had one and I was kind of well, maybe I can make a little money because I did buy it, only a couple of years ago. I don't know. I feel like I don't know, in a just on a collecting level, I might just put it away and just wait for this all to die down. I don't know. Again, incredible piece. We're talking about everything else, but I don't know, incredible piece. But I'm hoverboarded out. Am I allowed to say that? Is that
Yeah,
sacrilegious? I just am.
you're overboard.
Yes, I'm overboarded. Um, uh, the Spike one,
Is cool
Gray's Almanac,
in every auction. Yep.
yeah, a lot of those.
Hill
I
Valley
always like
license
these
plate.
future license
They're
plates.
cool. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, this is the Clint Eastwood, the poncho,
Which I think
Marty.
is great.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's
always
screen
really
matched.
fun. Movie I don't really like, but we got the poncho and we've got the red cowboy boots. Again, super memorable. All of it. You can build your sort of Western Marty.
Yeah.
All really, really neat. Just 3. I don't know. I'm sorry. 3. I don't know. Just 3.
Yeah, 2 and 3. But.
Yeah. 2. Yeah, I know. Poster rough. Very cool looking. Just kind of neat. Always that sort of, how these things come together. But this is fun. Let's get us to Batman. I'm sorry, Back to the Future.
Let's get to Batman.
I do love the movie, but I guess I'm just bored of the props. I'm sorry. But Batman, I love the movie and love the props. This is a fun little piece. This first little, I don't know, it's a prototype cowl bust, but I just kind of enjoy it.
Yeah.
I just really like it. I wonder if it pops up. It'd be fun to see if it pops up in any pre-production photos or anything like that. I mean, I guess if they had that, they'd probably show it, but that doesn't mean you can't find it. But I don't know. I just kind of get a kick out of it, of just sort of what it is.
Yeah, it's what they use to make, or what they would have used to make the cowls. So it's kind of the block that they shaped, and I don't know whether they used this exact one or there were molding blocks, but this is the thing that they made to decide what Batman looked like.
Yeah, and I think that's sort of the fun part of it. A matte painting, which are
very
captures some of that sort of Anton First design,
Gotham, yeah,
Gotham, which I think is really cool, and then a little miniature Batman. Which is also, I don't know, I get a kick out of this too. I just think it's really, really neat.
Yeah, he's cool. It would have been the pilot of the Batwing or the pilot of the Batmobile.
The Batmobile, yes, exactly.
Indeed, a Batmobile model, which we're still not sure if there was.
And it's missing a hand, but it doesn't bother me. I don't know. I get a kick out of it.
It's cool. Yeah, it's very
I think period. It's just really neat. Easy, small, fits on a shelf, 4.5 inches. Your wife or significant other will never know you bought it, so that's always
you can hide it in your drop ship.
Yes, you could put like 20 of these in a drop ship. Yeah, right. But I don't know. I get a kick out of that. And now we've got 2 what they're calling production made cowl and emblem, or I should say emblem and cowl, 63 and 64. Yeah. Production made, but still the emblem's a test version. And what are they calling the? I guess no real description other than production made. Prototype.
I think it's
prototype.
Yeah, it's a prototype, as they were. I think it's based on the where it came from, that they know how it was used. But I mean, look, it's very cool. You could easily put that on a bust, both of these things, and call it a Batman.
Really good. And look, this is a case where I think where they come from and the officialness of them, even as not screen used, makes you trust them. And you can certainly put a Batman together or separately, 2 pieces that certainly scream out Batman in your collection, where perhaps not the same price that you would pay, obviously, if these things were 100%, screen matched or
Correct.
Used and whatnot.
For sure, used. Yeah,
there's something to be said for that. I get a kick out of both, especially the emblem, because as somebody who owns an emblem, yes, this one is a production made. It's not screen matched, but it's pretty identical looking. I mean, in a good way, in terms of displaying. So I think it's really neat. Joker handkerchief, penguins, some penguin stuff. The penguin stuff I always laugh at. The umbrella, the because it very, to me, that sort of swirl there is so, I don't know, Beetlejuice, Tim Burton. Do you know what I mean? Kind of Edward Scissorhands, Penguin, and I guess
tissue,
maybe all these characters are the same character. Penguin is Beetlejuice, but he's certainly the Penguin is certainly Edward Scissorhands. But anyway, very cool, very Tim Burton, which I really do like it.
I always say
For
that
those
that's not a
reasons. Yeah.
Batman movie. That movie should be called Edward Flipperhands.
Yes, well, there you go. Exactly. Um, Moving on, a Batman Returns Met Cal. This is a master cast. That's pretty
Yeah,
neat.
that's where you'd
Cast.
make the cowls.
Yep, of the Catwoman one. Those would look really nice together. Um, and then I'm gonna just kind of jump over the
Yeah, we'll
Batman
move right on.
Forever stuff, and we'll
I'm gonna
jump
land on
to
77.
75. Oh, you skipped over. You went to 77.
Oh,
I was just gonna say, Joker shotgun, stun shotgun. I don't know.
okay.
There's so nothing out there from
For
Dark
the
Knight.
Joker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
from the Joker. There's a Gordon badge 276. I don't know. Those are tough because they don't jump out at you as what they are. Although the badge does say Gotham City Police, I'm not sure you would necessarily go, "Oh my God, that's the one from Dark Knight or Dark Knight Return." You don't know which one.
Right.
But anyway, I don't know. I guess I still love those Nolan movies a lot and would like to find the right thing from it. But yes, 77. This is pretty cool. This is pretty neat.
Yeah, and this is this actually has a Warner COA with it, so I
Yes.
guess it came right out of the studio. I don't know whether it was a charity piece or something that they officially
That was
released.
my
But it's
assumption. Is must have been something along those lines because the paperwork and obviously, a brand new movie
yeah,
and the significance of this piece. And for those sort of bat fanatics, I guess the gist of it was that his logo was made from the gun. They never say this, I don't think,
they
in the
never say
movie,
it, right?
but the assumption among fans has been that this is the gun that probably killed his parents, that he turned
And
it
he made
into.
his
Yeah,
bat logo / batarang out of it, and this is the stunt batarang from the Batman, Matt Reeves, the Batman, and it's just awesome. And
yeah.
I think, isn't that from a book, Dave? Didn't he do that in a book, and that's why people were drawing that conclusion?
Boy, that's not one. I mean, I'm a pretty good comic guy, but not something I remember. That maybe it's something
Yeah,
that's happened more recently that I've
yeah, I
not
don't know.
seen. Yeah. But I thought the design here was just really great. Look, this is a weird one. For me, I think it's really neat. I like the way this movie looked. Sort of Batman meets Seven.
Fincher, yeah,
I'm not quite sure if I've decided if this is going in my all-time sort of Batman, Hall of Fame.
yeah,
So for me, but killer piece and just
great piece.
amazing to see. And again, with the Warner paperwork, pretty special. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Uh, Blade, that brings us
Blade.
to. Yep.
Yeah, that's really cool. Full
Yep.
Blade costume and hero sword.
Full costume hero sword, which
There you
we've
go.
talked
It's
about hero swords a
whole
little bit,
collection.
but yeah, really, really neat. And I think we talked about this the last time Blade came up. Movie that, I don't know, still holds up as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
Really,
yeah, I
really
agree.
enjoyable. Yeah.
So yeah,
Nice display too. It could use a head of strangely painted head with eyes of Wesley Snipes that looks at you around the room.
what about Christopher Reeve?
Oh, now we're talking. Yeah.
Poor
So
Superman.
Blade screen
That
match
really is a
costume
great
with
piece. It's just
Christopher
the head.
Reeve head. Yeah.
Yeah.
Blade Trinity.
Blade Trinity. No.
Fun movie. But yeah, okay. No, all right. I appreciate it. But it's stupid. I appreciate it's what it is. But anyway, this was fun to me. 80 Jack Burton, Kurt Russell's stunt knife from Big Trouble in Little China.
Yes. Can't throw the knife, but can catch it.
Yeah, always looking for something from this movie. And I think this is kind of neat. It's a wooden stunt knife, which is kind of fun, not rubber, just a little more specific. And I don't know. Again,
it dates it.
Yeah, it just, yes, dates it is exactly right. I feel like no one's going to the trouble to fake a wooden stunt knife in this day and age, but very cool, interesting, whatever. And then I'm breathless. So 81. This is kudos to this catalog. I don't know what else to say. Yeah.
Yeah, this is awesome.
This is incredible. Sorry, I'm going to say this. I know you'll tell everyone what it is. To me, this piece this should have been a 4-page spread. I don't understand why this is not a full-size like Playboy pinup of it lengthwise. You know what I mean? Like that's what I wanted. I wanted
gatefold.
a gatefold life-size version of this thing. This is incredible. Go for it.
It's awesome. Yeah, so this is Roy Batty's screen matched leather duster, his coat from Blade Runner. So Rutger Hauer's character, when he goes to investigate Chew's eyes, I only make eyes. It's just great, and it's custom made. It's screen matched. It's fresh to market. It's a new find. Apparently, somebody, I think, won it.
Won it at a charity auction years ago, a million
and then
years
it just
ago.
went into a box, and now they're going to cash it.
The box is now open. Yes.
Yeah, because I think this is going to do cuckoo bananas.
I was gonna say, pay no attention to that estimate, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, this is a great one.
This is, I mean, it's incredible. The work, the character, the movie, obviously.
Yeah, Charles Node. Yeah,
and in a world where. And a little bit like what we talked about with Back to the Future, in a world where there are a couple of Blade Runner pieces that we have seen over and over and over and over again, that are fine and good, but we've seen them a lot. This is startling. This, like I said, takes your breath away.
And it's so evocative of that film and the design of that film. It's that punk Gothic neo-noir thing. It feels movie, 1940s done 1980s.
But it's also all the incredible source material, because you can feel what's the word I'm looking for, heavy metal magazine in it at the same time. You know what I mean? It's all of that, but trench coat,
Mobius,
noir, everything. Just incredible. So I have to ask, where's your head? Are you thinking? You have to be thinking.
I love it. Yeah, I mean, I love it, and I think I will definitely be in there with a paddle on that day. I just don't know. I have a pretty great Blade Runner collection, and I just don't. Yes.
Do you without this? Do you? I'm sorry. No, your collection is incredible. This is insane.
I mean, I should say I have a Blade Runner collection that I'm very happy with, but this is insane. And I particularly I'm not a huge costumes guy, but I love the costumes in this film. This is actually a strange film where I prefer the costumes to the props, except for the Hero Blaster, which I think is the greatest science fiction a weapon of all time in terms of design. But I'm super into this. Yes, I will be bidding, and I will probably bid
as will the owner of the Hero Blaster will probably be bidding.
Correct.
So this is going to be a tough one. There'll probably be a lot of
there's going to be action,
powwowing. There's going to be action and discussion too. Because I think a lot of people that know each other are very interested in this piece.
But I do love it. It is a great collector's piece too. I don't know if like Joe off the street comes in and buys this as their first prop, but if you know what you're doing and you've been watching these catalogs for years, like David and I have, this is a great one. And
I mean, this is
such a cool find.
A true, I mean, just again, fresh to market doesn't cover it. But I'm going to make a very strange argument, which is not a strange argument. I was going to say this, to me, more than anything, perhaps in this catalog, I mean, this feels like, boy, like if I were the Academy Museum, I'd be going hard after this, but I'll go one step further. If I was the Costume Institute in New York City at the museum, I would be going after this. I mean, there's I'm not sure they have a big film, whatever, but to me, this movie begat so much fashion changes. Like you can see Blade Runner's effect on culture. And I don't know this, again, I'm not looking for additional bidders against you. I'm just simply honestly saying that's, I think, how, I don't know, important this thing is on some just almost museum-like level. Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah, agreed.
Just incredible to see. Another reason to keep this catalog forever, just to have the reference on it. This I enjoyed just seeing as well for very different reasons is 82, which is the bodyguard video costume that Whitney Houston wears, which if you saw that movie back in the day, you can never forget seeing this thing. It was kind of just nuts. And there it is in all its glory. And I don't know. I not a bidder, but love
just a
seeing
happy
it. It's
collector.
just it's just goddamn nuts, and I love it. It's just
Yeah.
very very specific and memorable. Um, Number 84, I get a huge kick out of. It's the hand painted portrait of Dirk Diggler that he has in his house. Um, that I can't remember the character's name, but Melora Walters is the painter, and she paints it of him. And it's like everybody else in Blade Runner, they're kind of awful at what they love, and she loves painting, and
Yeah.
she
Blade
stinks at
Runner,
it
Boogie
and
Nights.
gives it to him. Oh, did I say Blade Runner? Oh my God,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Sorry, B on my mind. Boogie Nights. Oh my Lord. And Boogie Nights, a movie I love, 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 and a tough movie to have something from. It's just a
But
lot of
this is great and
70s
creepy.
clothing. Yeah, this is very special. You put this on your wall the same way Dirk Diggler had it on his, and you bring people in that come over to your house and show it to them the same way he showed it to Amber Waves, and you'd be very impressed by it. I don't know. I big fan of this thing, and it is Boogie Nights in a nutshell. So I do enjoy it.
Yeah.
Some Bourne stuff, Breaking Bad, all interesting. This is my other favorite new thing in catalogs is there's always a Bruce Lee section. I don't know, it's just like you can't have an entertainment auction now without a Bruce Lee section, which is just,
Correct.
I don't know, it's just funny that's become its own collecting thing. So as always, a mix of just stuff out of his martial arts world, but then also stuff from movies. So starting with this weird striking board, but then actual Bruce Lee nunchucks from Way of the Dragon. I don't know, Bruce Lee nunchucks. That's just pretty great. Um, I don't know, all interesting stuff. Autograph stuff, all really neat. There's certain movies of his that I love, but this is all all cool to see. Uh, I'm just moving another Wilson.
Another Wilson. Yeah.
Yep.
Goes with the hoverboard.
Couple
It's
other
also screen
Castaway.
matched. I guess
Another
all of
screen.
these
Yeah,
were
yeah. I
screen
guess
matched, or it's just the
kudos.
same one every auction.
Yeah, kudos. I guess this is where just us as jaded guys. It is what it is. I actually got a kick out of the just in terms of the Castaway stuff. 102, I thought was really neat. The sort of neck pocket
Oh
watch
yeah.
thing that he made. I don't know, just because I haven't seen that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, so again, it's a little bit of that world of what have we seen, what have we not seen. I
Close
thought
Encounters
this.
map painting.
Yep, really nice. I'm jumping right before that. The 105, the Chitty Chitty Bang Bang
Yeah.
car horn. I again, just if you were a kid, you saw this movie, you remember that snakehead horn, and I don't know, really really neat.
You're
Really
taken
really
by
neat.
it.
Yeah. Yep. Close Encounters.
The map
Devil's
painting, and then
Backbone,
one of the
yep.
aliens, which I think is cool. I mean, it's hard to find stuff that's immediately evocative of that movie, and the aliens are creepy, but I mean, definitely like of that time and period. And
Yep.
and this one is actually well either restored or maintained and well displayed. So I like that one. Dexter,
Dexter, exactly.
Die Hard. I mean, there's
Die Hard submachine gun, but very again.
How do you know it's his? I mean, that's the
off
thing.
the shelf,
I mean, other
yes.
people use
without a screen
that
match.
MP5.
Yeah, that bothers. Yeah, I mean, from the movie, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I'm sure they have a story, but I just, I don't know. There are better things out there, and I don't care about Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Yeah, I skip over those. I'm sure the Doctor Strange stuff will interest some people. Yeah, again, Marvel, interesting. Now we're coming to a charity section. This is not where you and I, unless, are you now well versed in Doctor Who living over there? Is that like part of like, they don't let you in until you go back
I
and
have
watch
to
it all?
pretend to be, otherwise I get audited. So, so it's a whole thing. There's a test. It's very intensive.
We are not the ones to be speaking of this section, but
No.
I think this is all really cool. And I'm guessing if you're into Doctor Who, this is great. It's all coming from the BBC. It's for charity, which is really nice too. And these are all Daleks, I believe, throughout history.
Whatever that is.
And they're screen matched.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you this, that there was a board at Saturday Night Live that would have the upcoming hosts like on cards, and sometimes you'd see multiple ones up, or people that were like not booked, but there was like a list of like cards with names and then whatever, and we would make fake cards and like really drive the talent department bananas, because we'd make like a Doctor Who card and occasionally stick him into the run. I don't know if I've ever told you that.
No, that's great though.
I think they were bothered not only that we were doing it, but that we did Doctor Who.
Doctor Who, yeah.
They were just never there was no version of it, but also it was like we didn't even know that an actor's name. We were just saying Doctor Who should host. Yes. But anyway,
I know Matt Smith was one of them, and
he was, which is a later on. He was when we were doing that fine prank. We were not thinking Matt Smith, but Matt Smith should host. Oh, he should host. Matt Smith should host SNL. He'd be great.
Yeah, he'd be very good at it. He's actually very funny. Olivia Cook would be another great host who's very, very funny. David Tennant's son Ty was also in our show. He plays,
who is he?
He plays young Egon.
Very cool.
Who we meet in his glory in the window of the Red Keep.
So have we seen him yet? Or which one is that? That's the king and what's her name's son. Yes.
Viserys and Alicent's firstborn as a teenager.
Met him.
And then he's.
I'll look at him now and see if I see the David Tennant in him. I think I do when you say it. So where are we? Elf, Escape from L.A., Event Horizon. This Evil Dead piece, I think, is just kind of neat. I mean, I love the stop motion of it all, and obviously the skin is gone, but very recognizable for what it is. The long neck. I think that's pretty neat. Just the sort of, I know it's Evil Dead 2, but just that very sort of put together by them sort of nature of it. I don't know. I just got a real kick out of it.
Agreed.
I stopped at 134 and 135 and 136 because I do love Excalibur. So 135 is not the screen used helmet. It's a gift. I guess it was like a very high end crew gift that was very limited. So very small number of executive gifts, but I guess made by Terry English. And I don't know. I think it's really neat. And in a world of, I don't have.
I mean, it's made by Terry English.
Yeah.
That itself is great.
Yeah. And and I love the connection too, that it was a gift and it looks signed on the inside and stuff. I don't know. I stopped here, read the description, was really intrigued. I got a real kick out of the screen matched, the Holy Grail, but the be all end all 136. And we'd heard that John Borman had this because I think his son played the part, or was maybe either the young or the old. One of the Bormans is Mordred, and so there was a rumor for years that he had this, and here it is. And this is the Mordred helmet from John Borman.
It's so cool.
It's incredible. I mean, this is instantly recognizable from that movie. Such a wonderful, just like in that movie, which has a lot of great helmets, just such a perfect helmet for the character of Mordred, his evilness and his, dare I say, strange beauty. And I don't know, just like, I don't know.
There's a kind of Greek Gorgon thing going on with this helmet, which I like a lot. It's so cool. It's so cool. And the Holy Grail is screen matched. 135, which also I think came from Borman.
Really, really neat. Yeah, I think that's also from personal collection. I guess all three pieces are from Borman's personal collection.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Talk about provenance.
So does that mean he still has Excalibur? I wonder.
I hope so. I hope so. But it means that we don't have to talk about the Fifth Element, right?
Skip over it.
Do we?
I think we can.
I've always wanted one of these. Yes, I think we should.
You know what? I love this movie. I want something from it. I'm sick of these pieces. I'm sorry. I feel like we've seen every one of these. Yeah, I don't know. It just, I don't know. I'm just going to stop at Fight Club for a second.
144. I just think
we
that's
talked
cool.
about this the last time this thing came around.
I mean, I imagine there's more than one of them, but
I'm sure there is. But
the
it's
IKEA,
probably the same one though.
The IKEA catalog, Fernie.
The Fernie, yes, exactly.
The umlaut. And his cool sort of seersucker pants.
Yes,
trousers.
Levi's seersuckers, very neat. I'm going to stop at 147. I'm going to go for this fantastic Fraggle Rock.
Yeah,
I was a little old for Fraggle Rock, but a
I wasn't.
Henson
I watched
Muppet
it
is a Henson Muppet is a Henson Muppet as far as I'm concerned, and this screams Henson.
Does this catch your eye?
Not enough because of the lack of the Fraggle Rock connection. I mean, enough to stop, enough to stare, but not enough to raise the paddle. I think raise the paddle is becoming like our bend the knee of your show in a funny way. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Will he raise the paddle?
Will he raise the paddle?
Yeah, I will not raise. Yeah, I will not raise the paddle. But I do get a real kick out of it.
In props, Dave, you either win or you die.
Props are coming. But yeah. I love looking at this stuff. Fraggle Rock, just all of it, the designs, the Henson of it.
It's so Henson. Yeah, it's delightful. And if I didn't have my Statler and Waldorf, which you can see behind me if you're watching, I would really think about this because I grew up with Fraggle Rock.
If you change your mind, I'll take Statler and Waldorf.
Yeah.
If you want to downgrade.
I'm not going to change my mind.
I mean, upgrade. I mean, if you want to upgrade to this Fraggle Rock, I'll take your crappy Statler and Waldorf. So now it's time for an ad from our sponsor, Prop Store, which, not that this entire show, by the way, isn't just a giant ad for Prop Store, but they've also paid for this little ad within the giant free ad that they're getting, which is, I think we're terrible businessmen. But anyway, just a reminder.
We make it up in volume, Dave.
Yeah, we make it up for in lack of volume. This is a reminder that Prop Store's London Entertainment Memorabilia live auction is taking place at BAFTA, 195 Piccadilly, from November 3rd to 6th. We want to discuss all the different ways you can bid and pay for items today because there are so many different ways. With your bidding, there's live bidding. Basically, it's the first time since pre-COVID you can go to BAFTA at 195 Piccadilly and bid in person. It's also just really fun to go, even if you're not bidding, and watch, meet Ryan, just kind of hang out, see cool props, meet other collectors. It's a really fun time. So we highly recommend it. It's a really fun time. Other ways of bidding, Ryan.
You can also bid online. For each auction, you can do that in two different ways. You can go in advance. Right now, in fact, you can go online, bid on the items anytime to set a proxy bid, or you can go bid live online, follow the auction live, hear the auctioneer, and click away in the safety and comfort and privacy of your own home. There's also phone bidding, which is a old school.
If you're not a computer guy, perhaps phone bidding, which I like. I'm
a big fan of phone bidding. Makes me feel like a big man. You can phone up Prop Store or contact them by email, and they'll basically call you 5 to 10 lots out from your lot coming up, and then you can be on the phone live with somebody who's actually going to raise a paddle in the room for you. There's also absentee bidding. So if you're not present at the auction, you can fill out an absentee form with your highest bid, and they will bid the item up.
They'll basically bid for you up to your number,
yes,
kind of like putting a number on. Yeah, like putting a number in on eBay. Only they're doing it that way.
Correct.
In the case of a tie, absentee bids take precedence over all other bids. So that's actually a really nice sort of little point, which is there. And besides all the ways to bid, they have a load of ways to pay too. So they have practically as many ways to pay as there are to bid, which is, again, a really nice thing because a lot of auction houses, they don't give you the flexibility in bidding, and they certainly don't give you the flexibility in paying. So number one, they've got payment plans. For their entertainment memorabilia live auction, Prop Store allows up to a 3-month interest-free payment plan for hammer bids totaling £1,000 or more. So that's pretty darn nice. Tell us about credit cards, Ryan.
You can pay up to £25,000 on your purchase on a credit card, and there are no additional credit card fees to use that method. There's also crypto through BitPay. Customers can select a variety of popular cryptocurrencies that haven't tanked and lost their value.
I was going to say you may want to hold on to your crypto a little longer and wait.
Purchase their items.
The choice is yours. Yes.
And you can also pay with consignments, so you can increase your buying power by consigning items to a future Prop Store auction. Cash advances are available for quality consignments over £5,000. Just email consign@propstore.com if you have anything you'd like to discuss can sign
So
it.
go to
or just email the podcast and cut out the middleman. Come right to Dave and I with any cool stuff.
We'll buy it. We'll buy it and give you money to spend at Prop Store, especially if it's Star Wars prop. It's weird that they wrote that in. So go to propstore.com right now to register. So you'll be all set to bid in the big event from November 3rd to 6th. Bid online at propstore.com/live auction and bid in person at BAFTA at 195 Piccadilly. And a reminder, sorry, go ahead.
After you win some items in the upcoming auction, maybe you'll want to add a buy it now item off of the website to your order. If you get that itch, use your Dave10 or Ryan10 discount code to get 10% off your buy it now order and vote for your favorite podcast host at the very same time, just like you did last year. And by using your code, you'll enter to win the grand prize of being a guest on the season 4 finale of this very podcast. How about that?
I just want you to think, though, at the end, if you're the winner and you're on this podcast, is it easier to have me on your side or me not on your side? So that's just something to think about. That's all I'm saying. Something to think about.
Nothing like threat advertising to really draw in the fans, Dave.
I know my people. So propstore.com. And now back to the rest of the giant Prop Store ad.
All right, so these next lots are the Mario Kerner
our
collection.
Previous guest, yes, Mario Kerner,
famous friend of the podcast now, one of the most downloaded episodes ever, we think. And his great collection. He's also letting go, but we talked with him about this in somewhat of a level of detail.
Yes,
last week.
I believe we got into it, or at least as much as two people who aren't really much of horror fans
can Friday the 13th?
Humanly get into with a smile on our face. But
correct.
So go back to that episode. But obviously curious for him and hope it all does well again. And it's all great.
Yeah. And it's starting right there at lot 148. It's page 120 of the catalog.
Yeah. So we'll pop back at is From Dusk Till Dawn still his? I don't even know. Is that considered a horror movie? Okay, so I don't even know. Is he? Oh, I guess the Freddy Krueger's not him. So there's a Freddy Krueger glove.
I think that's the transition. Yeah.
Horror adjacent. Freddy Krueger glove from Freddy versus Jason. Is what it is. Pretty cool. Again, if that's your thing, pretty great. I don't know what else to say. Ghostbusters 2.
I like the Peter Venkman coat. I don't know. I think that's cool. I just think Bill Murray is by far the coolest Ghostbuster. And if you can have a Bill Murray piece, 4,000 to 6,000 pounds. I know it's not a proton pack, but I think that's really cool.
I think I'd rather wear that coat than display it. But anyway, I do remember him wearing it. But
if you do wear it, you have to walk around and just say, "Lay off, man. I'm a scientist."
Ghostbusters 2 again. I don't know. Yeah.
You're correct.
Not aging well, nor is 3, nor 4, nor 11, or whatever the hell they've made. Chariot stuff. I've always wanted a Chariot, mainly to build a display for my dropship. I think the dropship coming out of the Chariot would look really cool.
The only thing to make your dropship more conspicuous.
Yeah, this is fantastic. It is really neat. I got no room. This is a toughie, but really cool.
super cool.
And I love let's just talk about the Gladiator stuff in general. The design is wonderful, but it's all so well made. I mean, literally, just you sometimes there's a movie where you just go, where did that budget go? And Gladiator is just like, oh, here it is. Here's the budget. It's just like
and thousands of extras.
Just incredible. Just gorgeous. And I don't know, I got a kick out of all this, the Maximus, the general helmet from the beginning of the movie, the armor, I don't know, just really great stuff. I don't know, just really cool.
And there's a bunch of pieces here that hopefully won't be the $180,000
they're not
arena
his
helmet
main, exactly, it's not his
but the general helmet, which is that's
general helmet is the top of the film when he is Maximus with the wolf on it, and
and the sword and
and his slave, the slave costume is on the back
which is very, that's when he gets painted, marked, and I think that's these are all great. Gremlins.
Gremlins, not. I was just gonna stop. Goodfellas. I don't know if The Watch is the thing, but again, a
Nah.
movie. We'd all want something from. Is this it? Maybe not. Got some Gremlins stuff. Always fun to see. I've lost track of what we've seen and not seen, but certainly neat. It's all Gremlins 2 stuff. So those extra Gremlins, Daffy and the Mohawk one, and really nice. Now we're into some other Michael Myers stuff.
Halloween,
Kind of skipping over.
Harry Potter first edition.
Harry Potter, some first edition, and then an uncorrected proof copy.
That's cool.
That's two different lots. I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry. I thought for a second lots, yeah. It's the same cases. So someone made really nice cases to protect their books. This is really neat. Not my area. Really neat though. I guess I have tried desperately not to start buying first edition books because it just seemed like
me too.
I would never stop doing if I did. I think I have like one or two odds and ends and one or two like sort of interesting screenplay ones, but I avoid this stuff because I would never stop.
It's a slippery slope. Yeah. Oh, it would start a big problem.
There's that wonder. Did you ever see that wonderful documentary that came out, I think like 2 years ago, like right at the beginning of COVID, about first edition book sellers, basically, and a little bit of collectors, but the guys that sell them. Really, really interesting documentary. No. Really, really fun. Worth digging.
Cool. I'll find it. If you remember the title, tell me because
it has a name like bookseller, but I'm sure that's not exactly it. I'll find it later too. But yeah, really, really enjoyable. Harry Potter wand,
which is neat. It's from the first film.
Yeah,
and out really there in an
gifted to one of the agents who represented a number of the child stars. That's a good story. Yeah. I like that. Recognizable from the first film. Very, very cool. Another one of the invites. Always neat. Autographed poster. Again, all really interesting.
Robes.
Some
stuff from Hateful Eight.
Hateful Eight, fun costumes. Again, I think we've seen some of these things before, but
I love that movie.
Lovely, lovely, great costumes in that film. Just really, really attacked the West in a different way, which I thought was really, really enjoyable. More treating it like a real genuine period film on top of what it was, as opposed to just everybody kind of, dare I say, dressing the same, the way, sort of a 60s Western is done. Do you know what I mean? Like a little more unique and really,
a little more Tarantino
to each character and to each very Tarantino. Well, I have been looking for a full Nazi costume and mask for a while. This could be the one.
Is this the one though, Dave?
Is this Nazi enough for me here on Yom Kippur? I love the first Hellboy movie. I thought the way they brought this character to life, Cronin, was fantastic.
So creepy.
It's got a big swastika on it. I don't know what else to say.
I think multiple, my friend.
Yeah. Just moving on.
He hits the Nazi trifecta. He's got the Iron Cross. He's got the skull, the skull, the quadfecta, because he's got the eagle. Yep. The eagle, which I think has another swastika on it, and then
let's hope there's a little swastika there.
Then the red armband
when you get close,
and the goose stepping boots. So it's really checks all the boxes for your period and modern Nazi needs.
That's another, like, much like first editions, you start collecting Nazi memorabilia.
You get one Nazi.
It's a slippery slope. It's a very slippery
slope. And marathon.
I'm just talking about genuine Nazi memorabilia. How when they always like find these guys down, like it's always
Chris Cooper.
It's always a house in the middle of nowhere, and they have the secret room with all the stuff. Yes, exactly.
I just wanted to show my girlfriend your Nazi plate, sir.
Yeah. Oh God!
I think that's our best Nazi segue that we've ever done, Dave.
No, it all kind of came together for once. Our Nazi dreams came together into a segment. Similar but different, without the swastika, is Johann's from Hellboy 2. His light up helmet and chest piece, and again, all of the all of the great costume and all the great costume design and construction of the Nazi costume, but not a Nazi costume. This to me, memorable character. I love the way this looks. I love the way this works. Lighting stand-in, so used to sort of not the hero, but still just really, really cool. Big thumbs up from me, because I am a Hellboy fan, Mignola fan, just really, really excited.
As am I, yes.
Yeah, really, really cool. Hellraiser, we're not horror people, I apologize. Hobbit. I'm just
Hook?
moving along. Hook for me.
Some interesting stuff.
It's interesting.
Oh,
I think
if
you're the right age, Hook is for you. It is not for me.
I must have slid under that.
You may have just missed it. Yeah.
I do not care, but yeah.
It was one of those things, like the writer's assistants at my show, who were significantly younger than us, loved Hook and Rufio and all of that. Yeah. Just like, no.
Ernie Reyes Jr.
The Grinch. I did
you worked on that.
Almost credited rewrite on that. We were awarded.
Isn't there a trailer where you're in the credits?
Yes, we were listed, and then it was arbitrated and lost. But this is a giant full-size sleigh.
You could hide your dropship in there.
Yes, you wouldn't even know your dropship was behind it.
Possibly your chariot as well. It seems very big.
I think unless you own like your own department store where you've been looking to do a big Christmas Grinch display, I don't know where you're putting this. I'll just simply say that. I want to love 199. I guess I will be asking if there is any sort of story or provenance on this item, just because I want to love it. I love Inception. I really do. But you can buy these on eBay for, $40.
That's the unfortunate
thing.
So
I'd like to know more, or is there something about it that, separates it? And this is not, I'm not questioning it. I'm, as much as I feel like this is a piece where I want to ask questions, and I know, and this is a good thing about Prop Store, they will answer me. That's a great thing, is, why do they think it is what it is? Did it come with this passport? That would be helpful. So that these two things come together from a source, and then it makes more sense why they might have it. So those are the kinds of questions, you can and should ask. By the way, there's a fantastic piece in the current New Yorker about authenticating a painting.
Yes,
and it's really worth reading, because it's prop collecting, but it's not prop collecting, and it is trying to get something painted where everybody's dead and you're trying to track down, like, okay, so was he in Germany at the time? It's one of those things where they're really piecing it together, and also why you have to ask questions and why provenance is important. And it's a fascinating article. It's not definitive in any way, shape, or form on the painting in the article. It's about a Lucian Freud painting, and it's a great article to read. It's collecting in general. It's just, to me, it falls into that category. Another Tarantino, Brad Pitt's Aldo Rain uniform, kind of neat,
which is cool.
Yeah, looks very clean. So maybe like an earlier version, from the movie.
Yeah,
but very cool. And then this is a great section.
Bam, great page.
Great double page.
Great spread. Yeah.
This is just gorgeous, hand colored and penciled art from the production illustration of the Ark of the Covenant, which is just really, really cool. There are more preliminary pieces of art that exist. I have a Joe Johnston one that is preliminary, but this is actually what is this exactly going to look like, and then how are we going to make it? And I think there's something
cool,
really incredible about this. I don't know what else to say about it.
I've circled all of them.
Yeah, I circled them all.
I'm not going to get all of them, but
no,
I'd
like to get one to go with my Joe Johnston, because I feel like there's a progress to production of some sort, if that makes any sense. That I kind of think would be really fun to have.
Does one stick out to
These are
you
by the
more
art
than
director John Fenner. I guess 202 or 204, because the one I have is also of the full
the full arc? Yeah.
thing, so I feel like I would like something that represents the full arc. But I love the detail work on 203. I don't know if it pairs as well, but I do think
Yeah.
the art is beautiful.
It's
Anyway,
so great.
I thought these were just really, really, really cool.
They're
So
awesome.
really neat. Never seen these before, so that was really, really fun. I laughed at this, by the way. Legal ownership to having a James Bond license plate, although I guess it's James 8 on, because that's
Yeah.
not a B.
These
So,
are a big deal in the UK because
I'm
you know we
sure.
have
Yeah.
we have states in the US. So in the US there are 50 different J80ND plates that you can have, whereas in the UK there's only one. And there's something about the way that these transfer membership and whatever, but like the license plate that, or the number plate as they call it, that says like F1 on it, because F1 is a big sport, big deal out here, is worth £2 million or something crazy like that. I mean, people are that nuts about their vanity number
I had
plates.
no idea, and that is excellent. That is really
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a really big deal, and obviously, you know, it says J80ND. It looks like J Bond. Put it on your Aston Martin. I mean, I think this is a really big deal. So
I would actually spend every
it's
dollar
cool.
I had to buy these, and then I would stick them on the shittiest car I had. I would buy like a Kia something or other, but have
No, get
these
something
license
French.
plates on it. Yeah, just
Yeah.
just a
Yeah,
Le Car from the
a
70s. Yeah.
Peugeot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But these are really, really neat. I had no idea about that market, and I feel like if I was doing a sort of Seinfeld-esque sitcom set in the UK, that would be a good Kramer story, you know, or whatever,
Yeah.
Kramer, my British Kramer character St. John would that would be like a good plot for him, of like getting into that marketplace or gambling on James 8 on, and
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't know,
he wants the UK Assman plate. Right?
exactly. Yeah. I don't know if these are the same Dr. No pieces from but
Yeah.
I continue to think about one of these.
They're so
I
cool.
want to pay a little less, but I do like them.
Yeah, they're so cool though.
Yeah.
The casino chits.
Yeah, from Dr. No. The Ken Adams original Diamonds Are Forever pre-sequence drawing. I mean, I'll just simply say
Beautiful.
Ken Adams is James Bond, and the idea of having an original piece of art by Ken Adams is, I don't know, to me that's just insane. So is it my favorite image that I have ever seen in my life? It is not. I think I can say that. But Ken Adams, and so I don't know. I'm gonna definitely be sort of following that. That's, I guess, the easiest way I can say that. Peter Nelson must be a very big James Bond collector.
Yeah, I guess that's
these
what
pieces are really interesting. I love the Fontainebleau Hotel from Goldfinger. All really neat, but I'm stopping at 213 because this was just incredible to
That's
see.
so cool.
The little Nelly from You Only Live Twice, the helmet with the little
pilot helmet
camera on the front of it, the pilot helmet. You know, I can't remember, you know, he's like, my little Nelly, you know, like, you know, it's like, I brought my, you know, I called for my little, anyway, really cool. I don't know. It just, this was one of those ones for me. I watched this on like ABC on the Sunday night movie. I think we've talked about that a little bit, like that's how I saw James Bond movies early on. My dad was a huge fan, and this is just really, really cool. Yeah.
As was mine. And this was his favorite of the, is his favorite of the Bond films. And I like this one quite a bit too. You Only Live Twice. I just think it's action packed and really excellent. And the mystery is really good. And I think it's a bit underrated actually, as far as the Connery Bonds go, but I love this one. And I mean, the helmet screen match, I mean, how cool is that? That's just awesome.
Really, awesome. Yeah. And I have no idea, but boy, oh boy. Yeah, I was about to say it was on display at Covent Gardens at the exhibit. I saw it there. That's what I was about to say. And I think that exhibit is now here. That's the one that's now, I think, in LA, unless there's two of them. I've lost track. But there's two. I saw this James Bond exhibit in Covent Gardens years and years and years ago, and this was there, and it was pretty wonderful. Um, You Only Live Twice, Throwing Knife. I mean, again, this is all really interesting. I thought the tarot card from Live and Let Die, very memorable, from when the all the lovers cards. So that's one of them. I thought that was really neat. Little production design of the Lotus Esprit. It's signed, but it's a copy.
Yeah,
but
that's
still
cool.
really neat. So now we're talking about like, again, not original. I mean, original copies, but copies, but still really, really neat.
Right.
An octopus from Octopussy from In the Tank. That's very nice. Moneypenny's hat. Again, the James Bond stuff. And again, we've talked about this. I still don't have a James Bond piece. One of these days, I've just got to get something from a Moore and a Connery for me, just to have. And it doesn't have to be an Aston Martin, but I just would like to have something. I think it'd just be, I don't know. I would really like to have something. I guess that's my end point. Really, really cool. Casino Royale. Lorraine Gary's Jaws script, signed and annotated, bound and annotated. So that's kind of neat. Roy Scheider's wife. She was married to like one of the studio execs, or the agent, I believe, is her claim to fame.
Can we pop back and just?
I'm sorry. What did I skip?
The PPK. I've been staring at this thing.
Please.
Is it time? And I don't know. And
I skipped over it just because it's, again, I know it is what it is. Pierce Brosnan is Remington Steele. Yes, but I understand. Yes.
And that was the first Bond that I saw in the theater, and
And again,
but
yes, I get it. And by the way, here's the thing about Bond. Well, just really quickly, I'll say the one thing. Much in the way I am dismissive of Pierce Brosnan is the way many people are dismissive of Roger Moore, who was my first Bond. You know what I mean? It's like, it's all about and I understand first Bond in your theater, and this gun is... It's his.
Epic.
It's the hero
it's
gun.
A silencer, yes. And I know, and I'm just... And is one kind of representative of them all, and it's.
I love it with this. I love it with the silencer on. I guess because of that. The image, obviously, but somehow the silencer makes it Bond to me for whatever stupid reason. I'll just simply say,
yeah.
So here's the real question, though. You buy it, and then do you feel obliged to get 224, the holster? Do you feel like you have to at that point?
Oh no, I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so, because I don't
think about.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't think about.
No, get the holster.
Like, that's not a holster that I think. There are certain holsters that I think go with the gun more, whereas I never really think of where Bond is carrying his PPK. If
I know it always seems like it's just out,
just appears.
A puff of smoke. It appears. Yeah. No, the gun is great. I like I said, I love Pierce Brosnan. But yeah. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut because I do like James Bond stuff. And everyone should have a James Bond piece. So yeah,
agreed. 235. Yeah, that's very cool though. It's Lorraine Gary's annotated script, and there's so little around from Jaws that's any good. And I just think that's a cool piece with a very fair estimate, 4 to 6.
And certainly a piece where I would be very curious to see the various notes and are they line changes and whatnot. I'm always fascinated by again how any movie, especially one like Jaws, comes together. So that I think would be very fun to get a chance to look at. It's something I might just I guess everything's in the UK, so I can't. This is not one I can go see.
I can go see it.
So go see it and see what's written in there because I'm curious. Jumanji.
Is it weird?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, is it weird?
I keep saying Jumanji, and then we keep stopping.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Because I don't care about Jumanji.
Jumanji.
Yeah. I was going to Karate Kid, but if you want to talk about Jumanji, we can talk about Jumanji.
My Jumanji was just moving to Karate Kid as quick as I could. Jumanji, Karate Kid.
Very good.
Yeah, there you go.
Very good. Is it weird that there's a Cobra Kai gi with the sleeves on?
It seems so. It seems like, and also it's white. I kind of want all of them to be black and sleeveless. But yeah.
I do like the Chargers jersey.
By the way, do you watch Cobra Kai? Can I ask you that question?
2 seasons behind, I think, but have watched and have enjoyed.
The Mandel House loves it.
Okay.
Everybody watching it as a family, like fighting over it because Freddie's desire to like watch it far quicker than the rest of us can kind of keep up
Oh,
with.
that's great.
But really love it. It's been fun because of that movie, seeing all the old Karate Kid stuff coming out of the woodwork. But anyway, I just been enjoyable to see things, and like, yeah, the Chargers jersey is, yeah, like that's a weird
You remember
one,
that
but
scene?
it's kind of great. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Kind of great. I am stopping. I'm hitting the emergency brake on 241. This is the greatest thing in the history of greatest things.
Are you a Krull fan? That's amazing.
You got to understand, and this is, again, this is an age thing. Krull was like the only movie on like, you know, like I don't even remember if it was HBO or Showtime or whatever it was, but in the early days of pay television, and we didn't have it at my house, so I only got to see it on special occasions at like friends' houses. And so to go to a friend's house and it's like, what's on? Krull. And I mean, the idea that this was,
awesome.
yes, it was just like, oh my God, it's Krull. This is fantastic. This is the practical one.
Yeah.
There are
so is this for you?
There are other ones out there. I believe I will be giving chase. I don't want to overshoot my wad. I will not be taking this to the $2 million limit. However, I will chase it for a bit of what I think Krull is worth to me, which is probably not a lot more than what it's kind of in the area it is. But boy, I gotta say, this would put a smile on my face.
I love it.
This would make very 13-year-old me would be very excited to have a working
That's really great. I love that.
And
It's
again,
too bad that it doesn't come before Blade Runner, because you could win the glaive and then use it to chase off all of the other bidders.
That's exactly it. Like, stand back.
Yeah.
He's got a glaive. That would be a good line in a movie. So anyway, yes, it is.
What's a glaive?
Yeah, it's very specific. I really love it. The end. Nothing else I can add.
I'm going to hit the e-brake at 243.
Yeah, this is insanely incredible.
This is insane.
Yeah.
I need to hear the story behind this. So this is Lawrence of Arabia's flare gun from Lawrence of Arabia in 1962. The 60th anniversary is this year. It just came out in glorious 4K on this disc that I can't believe that film looks the way it does. It's just, I love this film. I'm in on this piece. I think this is great, and I want to know more about it. And I want that. I want this in a display. I want that in the case with that photo in that lower right next to it.
Yeah, you just want that picture.
Yeah.
But it I don't know, that whole movie glows, this prop glows. I don't know what to say. It just like, it is, oh my God, it is movie history.
Marvelous.
In a world where, certainly in our collections, we don't necessarily have a lot of
classic
that kind of classical stuff. And this is
serious film,
a movie that, again, because of the nature of it, there are things like, I mean, I'm staring like at the dagger on his belt. There are things that, you know, you could speak to that, you know, speak to this movie, but it's not the easiest movie in the world to have something that connects to it. And this just does.
I have a great poster from it, but that's sort of how I've expressed my love for that movie. But no, I love this. And I mean, this movie is so important because without it, I don't know if you have Indy. I honestly don't know if you have, you know, Conan the Barbarian. So many of our heroes, the people that made the movies that we loved as kids, were Lawrence of Arabia.
This is the movie that changed
Indiana
their
Jones
lives. Yes, exactly. Right. Exactly. What does it say? A letter of authenticity from John Richardson, son of special effects technician Cliff Richardson, detailing the history.
Oh, John Richardson, he's a big deal because he is special effects, I believe, on Aliens.
Ah, okay.
That's the guy you always see in those behind the scenes documentaries.
And by the way,
that must be a family
makes
business.
Total sense. The family business, the UK, we see that all the time, especially in like the craft fields. That's really cool. Lawrence of Arabia, you know.
Yeah.
Awesome. Wow. Very, very, very cool. And while I am not a gun person, I enjoyed all of this stuff too. 244, 245. I always loved The Professional. I really just
his glasses.
Just the glasses are excellent. And I do get a kick out of the screen matched the Beretta in particular. But
yes.
You know, I don't know. I do like that movie. Again, it's one I've always wanted something from. The glasses maybe more than the guns. I don't know. I just like it. So yeah.
Glasses with screen use Beretta would be a great display.
Actually, the glasses on top of that gun, because the gun is okay memorable. I mean, it's not. I think of other guns more perhaps, but the glasses on the gun would make the gun for me in a weird way. You know what I mean? The whole thing, the display would be really cool.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings stuff.
Yeah.
250.
Yeah. Goddamn.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah. So this is Glamdring. Lot 250 is Gandalf's sword from Return of the King. Glamdring. It's just wow. It's glorious. I used to own one of these, full disclosure. Not this particular one. It was a different one. But they're great, and what a great design. And it still kind of pains me that I let that one go, but it turned into a Drew Struzan and a screen matched Hudson armor. So I can't really.
No, I feel like it was the right decision. Myself. These things are great.
This is going to go nuts. People are nuts for Gandalf.
I think this is going to go crazy. Yeah. I mean, Gandalf is the guy. I think we've talked about this before. Someday, one day, like the staff or the hat will show, and I will. That's where I'm just
You'll
waiting.
Go nuts.
I don't know what else to say.
The hat.
Don't get me wrong. Cool. I like this, but the hat or the staff is
cool.
what I really, 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 really
told you to take the wizard's staff.
Just love it. I really like 251.
I'm going to go out on a limb though. Can I make a guess? Yeah. Can I make a
guessing a price? Is that what
hammer? Yeah, I think this is going to go close to triple high estimate. I think this is going to be 250 hammer. I think it's going to go pretty nuts.
I completely see that. Yeah, I'm not going to fight you on that. It's just really good. The letter, the provenance, everything about it, the origin story. It's just really great. Straight from Weta to Sideshow it's just pretty fantastic. And I feel like maybe it's been a while since we've seen a significant like Lord of the Rings piece like this. Maybe a little bit.
It has been. It's been a couple years.
That is true. Mm-hmm. I love the Lost Boys, and I get a real kick out of all of this stuff. And
now here's your shot.
The David costume is really nice. I'm not the biggest costume guy, and it's an aggressive number, but that is the movie. Again, costume in a movie in a costume. That one works for me.
That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the Alex Winter jacket.
How are you on the wig and the mannequin? Let's talk about the wig and the mannequin.
I just ignored it and moved right on. Yeah,
I like it more than Christopher Reeve. I'm not sure I need the wig. I'm not sure. I wish the wig were like built into the helmet, sort of into the face.
I think if it was cast in and more.
Yes, exactly. Like if the hair was sculpted, I feel like I would be more okay. Anyway, this is all just really cool stuff. The Marco's jacket, Marco. Anyway, I get a kick out of all of this, and it's still a great movie. Sleep all day, party all night, never grow old. It's great to be a vampire.
We talked about this on some recent podcast, I think, but a hot tip for fans now that it's Halloween season: Near Dark is on the Criterion Channel, and I believe it's in HD. So, which is kind of a lost film and great vampire film from the 80s.
Really, really cool.
Seen in a million years. We're actually going to go back and watch it. I can't.
What's her name? Is the director, right? Catherine.
Yeah, Catherine Bigelow.
Catherine Bigelow. Yes.
Yeah. And really, Adrian Pasdar, young Adrian Pasdar, future star of one television series, Colony from USA. Adrian Pasdar is in that
Did you ever engage him in a conversation about?
We did. Yeah, we talked about it. Yeah. He was cool. I like Adrian's really, really good guy, funny guy.
A whole bunch of stuff from the new TV show Lost in Space. I've never watched it. People seem to like it. Gorgeous props. That robot thing looks really great. I don't know what to say. I have no idea. Really cool stuff. I'm moving along.
Moving on.
That's okay. Yeah, exactly. Some Marilyn Monroe stuff that's kind of neat. Mary Poppins. That's a neat piece. The barrel piano. I'm not sure. Where your head goes.
Mary Poppins Returns.
Oh, it's Returns. I'm sorry. Never mind. I apologize. I didn't care for that movie. And also, when I was in the UK many, many years ago, they were shooting out in Regent's Park outside Buckingham Palace, and they sort of blocked a whole bunch of lanes and stuff, and it was a big pain in the ass. So I don't care for that
there you
film
go.
for very personal reasons.
There you go. The Fault of Glenn Carroll one.
Was he the AD on that, or second AD on that, or whatever?
He
something.
Was.
Well, he screwed me in terms of getting back to my hotel.
He was on the AD team. I don't. He was seconding or thirding.
Mask stuff, whatever. Men in Black, but later Men in Blacks.
Yeah,
so be it.
I still want something from that first film so bad, but it never pops up. I always get to this section of the catalog, I get excited, and then I get let down.
Minority Report, Mission Impossible. I like the Mission Impossible Fallout thing. Again, just that's the broken mask maker from the fight, I guess, in the bathroom, I think. Anyway, but it's all really cool or something.
That's cool.
Or I think it's that one. Anyway, really neat, memorable. I don't know. We always stop, and I'm going to stop again today. 279. Weren't there these showed up like 2 or 3 auctions ago?
Yeah, but I don't know. Are they the same ones?
I don't know if these are the same ones or different ones. The Practical Mummy key, the Hamunaptra key. I love that. The Functional Book of the Living. Again, I don't know how many there were. I'm going to do some more research, I think, but I guess I do. The movie holds up. We're having, not that this is a reason why, but there's a Brendan Fraser renaissance happening as we speak.
The Whale.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing The Whale. And while I didn't really care about that Batgirl movie, he was Firefly in it. That I think he was going to be kind of a bit of a hapless villain, and I think he would have been really great. And I've enjoyed him on. Really good. Have you watched any of Doom Patrol on our beloved HBO Max? He's Robot Man, and I really enjoy him on that too. So I'm a Brendan Fraser fan. The Mummy holds up. The original Mummy holds up for me. It's really it's a fun watch. It's sort of it's in my sort of national treasure category of fun watch. Is it perfect? No. Really enjoyable props. Maybe one of these days. So anyway, and then there's your Near Dark piece. Yes.
There you go.
Bill Paxton too, by the way.
Screen match and poster match, and it's Paxton jacket. That's perfect. There you go.
Yeah, that's really
there you go. Very reasonable estimate. Yeah, somebody will be all over that.
Freddy Krueger. I'm just moving quickly.
I've always wanted a little Nightmare Before Christmas guy, and I kind of like him. I like the little behemoth with the axe in his head.
Yep.
I might be in on that one after I lose my beloved Batty jacket.
It's funny. It'll be like the same people bidding on both. That's what's funny. I'm stopping at 292 unless you have something before that.
I do not want to talk about Freddy Krueger, but I do want to talk about 292.
Yeah. Pale Rider is not necessarily my be all end all Clint Eastwood movie, but it's a Clint Eastwood movie. It's a Clint Eastwood
it's
Western.
Really cool. It's actually really cool.
This is a fantastic gun and really cool looking holster, and it's an Eastwood gun. It's an Eastwood
now that's
Western
a holster that goes with the gun.
Yes. So you're going to put your Walther in that?
Correct. That's what I'm going to do.
Weird, but I think it's cool. I don't know. This is, again, it's a little. This is verging into sort of classical movie history for me. I don't know. It's pretty wonderful. I do like it. And I
like the pseudo fantasy element of this film.
Yes.
It seems to suggest that there's something supernatural.
The sort of
going
Pale Rider, Angel of Death aspect of the character. And I don't know, just really, I don't know. I do really like it. So yeah. Pretty cool.
Well, if you don't win that, you can have Billy Zane's head to toe costume from 1996 as the Phantom.
Yes, I could.
Nothing more intimidating.
Not enough swastikas on it for me, but I don't know. Maybe I can add
superhero
some.
wearing purple.
Buy it and then modify it. Have Spina put some swastikas on for me. I looked at 296. The Heston, the rags, if you will.
You damn dirty apes! I imagine that's the costume that he says it in, right?
Yeah, I think that's the one he has sort of running around and escaped in. To be further researched, but really, really nice looking. Really, really nice looking. I stopped at 299 Dutch's costume from Predator, which I feel like, have we seen this one again? I feel like I think this has been around. Yes,
but that movie is so great, and it's Arnold's
so good.
screen match costume. Yeah. There you go. Get it.
Yeah, really enjoyable. I've stopped and stared before. I do like it. I do like it.
And if you miss on it, you can always bid on Jake Gyllenhaal's complete Prince of Persia costume.
Also, not enough swastikas. Uh,
And here comes Prometheus for Dave Mandel.
Yeah, so 303, Brett Frank Whaley screen match Quentin Tarantino autograph.
That's cool.
Yeah. Re 301 and 302, which are the two Prometheus pieces, just play from our website or from our Facebook. You can now download a
Dave Hates Prometheus.
A Dave Hates Prometheus MP3 that you can put on your phone.
It's an interactive app.
Yeah,
it's actually augmented reality. So
it just
wherever
allows
you
you to go through the catalog and you just press the button whenever you get to Prometheus and you get to hear what I think about Prometheus.
And there's an augmented reality element to it. So wherever you are in the world, you can just tap on your phone and Dave will be edited into the world screaming about Prometheus, at the Eiffel Tower or wherever you are.
At the press of a button. The internet is a great thing. Yeah. I like the Pulp Fiction shirt. I mean, it's a costume, again, but I don't know. Again, Quentin Tarantino, Pulp Fiction, not a movie you see a lot of. We've got Honey Bunny's gun below.
Screen matched.
And then stuff, I guess, things I've seen a little bit of, like the Pulp Fiction, the big kahuna bag and whatever. But I don't know.
Red Apple
shirt
cigarettes?
I thought was cool. The shirt I thought was cool. I'm sorry, the cigarettes, the Red Apples. Yeah. I don't know. The smoking is like, I don't know. I don't know. I guess I don't like cigarettes, so I just not what I would ever get. But okay, but yes, interesting and a fun in joke. His sort of see you next Wednesday, if you will.
Yeah.
But
Cooper does not like smoking either.
No, someone's at our door. I apologize.
It's fine. It's all part of the authenticity of the podcast.
No, that's how you know we're really doing this with a real dog. The Punisher vest is kind of great. Just I like the look of it unto itself.
Ridley Scott's actually come over to correct you on Prometheus.
Exactly, and the dog is barking. You're not going to hear Ridley, but you're going to hear my dog barking at Sir Ridley. I was on an airplane once with him. Did I tell you that ever? Did I tell the audience
that's really cool.
He was. It was I think flying back from the UK to Los Angeles, and Sir Ridley was there, and I toyed with annoying him with an autograph on the I'm not gonna lie, we were all in first class and I was thinking about at the end of the flight bugging him for an autograph on the flight menu, and then I thought better of it and I didn't. I let him be out of respect.
That's always a good call.
But it was just kind of neat.
What a legend.
And I felt very safe. I felt like Ridley Scott is not going down on an airplane, so I felt like I was bulletproof.
That's true. He's not going to go that way.
That's not how he's going to die.
Our casting director, Kate Rhodes James, is Ridley's casting director.
Oh, that's cool.
So whenever she's not with me, she's with Ridley doing whatever new movie, TV show. He's always doing 17 different things. So she always comes back to work with these great Ridley tales, and she was just doing Napoleon with him, and
wow.
God, just great.
By the way, I'm double fascinated by Napoleon with him, just because of the history of the never completed Kubrick Napoleon, never started, I guess.
Yes,
or whatever.
Right. Yeah,
he's sort of the work in progress,
finishing
script,
what Stanley Kubrick could not.
And I'm just very intrigued by what he does and what he doesn't, and I don't know. I'm just very interested to see where it goes. I'm not, again, as we all know, I'm not a horror guy, but I'm assuming 309 is really, really cool to the right person.
Yeah, I think that's a big deal.
Yeah, it seems pretty neat, and a letter from Fangoria, and I don't know, the whole thing is just really cool. And I did see this movie a million years ago, and I do
David
vaguely
Gales,
remember this. Yeah,
severed head,
pretty just cool.
Roll on.
The RoboCop 311. I feel like we've seen that piece before, and no one's quite sure exactly what it is.
The costumes are
replica costume. Yeah, Running Man. Where are you going next?
317.
Don't you think?
Yeah, this is. Yeah, there you go.
This is pretty wonderful. We were talking a little bit about this there off the air.
Yes,
there have been many a hammer has shown itself, but
yes, I believe, and I maybe we can print an addendum at some point, but I believe this is the only one that is known to exist. I think it's definitely the only screen matched one. So this is the Bible with the rock hammer cut out of it with the Dear Warden. You're right.
The Dear Warden, Salvation Lays Within. Exactly.
And I think that screen matches, and man, just I mean, that is that film, all in one piece. And this is, I've seen this in person. It's great.
I have not seen it in person. It's great. It's incredible. It is, again, an all-in-one. I mean, you know what this is instantly.
Yep.
And you literally, everyone can just put their TV on right now. Shawshank is on some channel somewhere. Literally, it's playing, and you might see
Japan.
this. You literally might see this scene at any given time, 24 hours a day. Which, I don't know. There's just something. I mean, that movie is. Boy, this is incredible. It's a large number, but I don't think it's a bad number. And
I think this is going to do
it's really special. Yeah, I think so too. I think it's really special. I'm not going to lie. This is a circle for me. This is something I've always wanted something from this movie. And I really, really do like it. And, I got to figure out my appetite for it. But boy, oh boy, oh boy, I do really, I do really just love it. So that easiest thing to be said. When I lose it, however, 318, the corruption murder at Shawshank headline, I like that too. So that'll be my fallback. Yeah, that'll be my fallback. But boy, they even have production made posters, I guess, for the wall. Which is kind of neat. These were the backup posters. I think I told this
story before, but I'll tell it again. Why not? Get some more mileage out of it. My the guy that I reported to when I used to work in advertising was also a frustrated screenwriter, and he kept the Rita Hayworth poster in his office, and he always said that there was a tunnel behind it to get out of his advertising job.
Oh, that's very funny. I do remember you telling me that.
Yeah. Johnny 5, which is, I mean, really cool build. Short Circuit isn't really the thing for me.
But I mean, I saw it in the theaters, and so I remember it. But I guess we got two, Johnny 5, and then Johnny 5 from the second one where he hang glides. That's a miniature,
which I think is a small
one. So a full size Johnny 5 from the original, and then the second one where he hang glides. The first one, I believe, was better. I believe the non-hang gliding Johnny 5.
Yes, before he became the second one, when he became a murderous robot and slaughtered most of the family that he lived with.
Short Circuit 3.
Took a dark turn. Space 1999.
I mean, I guess I like what it is. I would never buy it, but boy, if you have a museum, boy, that's very enjoyable.
Yeah, or if you're into Space 1999.
Yes. But I think mainly if you have a museum, because that's big.
Only if
a big one.
You need to have a museum.
Where are you going? I'm stopping.
I'm moving on to Star Trek. Are you?
Yeah, I'm in Trek. I'm in Trek, definitely. The piece we've seen before, 338, the battle damage side from Wrath of Khan.
Yeah, I just think that's.
I always stop because it's Khan. I love the way this model looks. It's just neat.
It's screen matched.
Yep.
There's an appeal there.
Yes. I think I stared at it the last time, and I'll stare at it again. I don't know what else, just it is neat. And now we're into TV stuff, into darkness stuff.
Yep.
What is that ship? That's a light up Enterprise Model C miniature converted to the USS Yamaguchi. That's kind of cool.
It was a former Enterprise C, and I think for a while it was thought that this might have been C under it, but I guess that there's not. So, but to me, this is awesome. It's a model miniature from Next Generation, right? I mean, isn't that? I mean, kind of. Yeah, you're going to pay more if it's the Enterprise, but also kind of who cares, especially at that price. I mean, it's not cheap, but I'm sort of into this. Are you into this?
Anyone that walked into the room that saw it would think it was the Enterprise. So that's the beauty of this model. I'm not. I look. I like Star Trek. I'm not. I appreciate Next Gen, but I'm not the be all end all for it. So I appreciate the heck out of it. But
yeah, I get that. I mean, I've flagged it. I'm into it.
There's an interesting thing with Next Gen. It's not its fault. But the way the ships moved in Next Gen was still that very sort of, you know what I mean? They all just kind of moved like they're boats. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. There was no sense of I don't know.
Yeah.
It was like right before they figured out, like they had figured out how to make really good looking ships move through space, but they had not figured out like interesting ways to have like battles and things.
The
You know what I mean? Yeah.
The Battlestar
Yeah.
movements.
That part seems dated, you know, when you
Yeah.
watch the show. That's not my reason. I'm just saying it's interesting when I look back occasionally.
Yeah.
So that brings us to from Star Trek, we beget Star Wars.
Are you ready to get in?
I am ready to dig in. You know, as I'm always like to kind of give people like a little bit of warnings. I haven't looked, and what I was going to say was I've heard about one piece that I thought was really interesting, but haven't heard a lot else. So I'm curious, you know, to
what
see
else they got
and
hiding.
and also maybe that's again not a bad thing. 353, very interesting. These are Yoda robes, I guess, screen used from the Phantom Menace. You know, Phantom Menace, but Yoda. So I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
And really well displayed too.
Yes.
I think this is the ideal display that really elevates. It's kind of perfectly done in my mind.
I'm just going to say Christopher Reeve head. Just close your eyes. Think about
that's
it.
interesting.
Yeah. Just think about it. Yeah. But yes, really nicely done. I actually kind of dig the wire hands and
the feet.
Yes.
It all feels very museum-y and conservationist, and I like it. Moving on.
Padme, I'm sorry. We're skipping over again. You can download our other app where you get to just hear us kind of go prequels. Yeah.
Dave very rarely says anything about the prequels, but I think if you go back to a previous episode, you might find him.
You might get lucky if you really with a fine tooth comb. Yeah.
Digging. Yeah.
Let us jump to the piece I had heard about, 363. Pretty incredible. These are Star Wars screen matched Darth Vader gloves.
Yeah, that's cool.
The price is insane, but I'm sure
Bananas.
I'm the insane one. You know, when this goes over that number, I'll be sitting there going, how does one say this? I think they are incredible. I think I would love to own these. I'm not sure I've of a mind to spend this kind of money on gloves.
What you should do if you spend that amount of money on a set of Darth Vader gloves is you should display them holding Darth Vader's helmet as if he cannot believe what you did. I think that would be the way to really.
The only thing I will say that is cool is I have a whole bunch of a Rebel. I have the helmet, and I have I have a whole. And yes,
yeah.
And
I
so
see where you're going.
I could take the glove and build a Rebel display and just do a glove choking
floating
like that. Yes, exactly. It's not exactly that guy in that costume, but I could do that.
I think I told you this story. I don't know if I told it on the air, but during COVID, my firstborn really wanted to see Star Wars. Star Wars Day happened. It was May. It was like the first month, and we totally run out of things to do. So I was finally like, okay, you're 4.5. Let's just watch Star Wars. And I put it on. She sat there completely rapt the whole time, like focused, not blinking, watched the whole thing, but didn't really react. Just sort of like took it all in. And then my wife asked her afterwards, well, what did you learn from watching Star Wars? And she said, Darth Vader put his hand on somebody's neck. That was her entire takeaway from the film. And my wife looked at me, and that was it for Star Wars for a little bit.
Yeah.
So.
To be continued in another 3 to 4 years. Yeah.
Yeah. But now she loves it, and she's gonna be Rey for Halloween, and that's nice. Okay. And but she just loves that there's like a hero that woman that wants a lightsaber. The only exception I
allow for the prequels is when my children like them, and luckily they grow out of it. So it's like when my son was allergic to eggs as a child. He grew out of it, and you grow out of your egg allergy and your prequels
and your prequel affinity.
I don't know what to say. This glove is incredible.
It's really great.
All Star Wars is expensive. I don't know if I think we're reaching the end of my Star Wars collecting. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think they're great. I think the fact that you have something that is Vader and much, much better.
Yes, that is certainly true. Yes, I don't think this is a must-have, and I'm not sure on what world this is a must-have unless I had a whole bunch of the rest of the costume, which obviously I don't have, and I'm probably not getting anytime soon.
I
cannot dispute how wonderful it is. So yeah.
If you had a lightsaber or something like that, I think, doing some kind of like, grip display something, or they're in the display case. But I just, with the helmet,
absolutely,
I don't
it's
know.
all true. But here's what let's go down this path. If I had a lightsaber, and let's say I spent a lot of money on a lightsaber and had it, like, you understand the lightsaber, but do you like it less if I don't have a glove next to it? Yeah, exactly. So I don't know, but it is fucking cool, and I think we need to just for 3 seconds, the screen match to the original Star Wars. There's something that has to be said about that,
Yeah,
which
and I think
is,
that's why it's in there at that price.
no, I get it. I again, not questioning it. I'm questioning my own fealty to Star Wars at this point, or at least to Star Wars prices. That's where I guess I am a little bit. This is going to sound odd, but I am looking. I'm going to peek at 365, which is the Falcon floor panel, Death Star ceiling panel, only because I have been thinking about something for my Han Solo gun display.
Oh yeah,
and I was sort of wondering if this might be,
that's cool,
my gun mounted sort of not on that, but in front of it, or something of that nature, as sort of a display, would be really kind of interesting. Within reason, perhaps.
If I had that piece, there would be a whole room in the house where it would just be in the center, like just with one key light over it, and you'd walk in the room, and you would only be able to stand in there for like 20 seconds, and you would have to leave. But that would be my display.
I'm the kind of collector, I would build an entire replica mini Millennium Falcon around the one real piece,
around the blaster.
Yes, exactly. Yes, full size around.
Although he doesn't fly the Millennium Falcon in the Return of the Jedi, Dave. But I guess you don't care because you're right.
This is Star Wars, isn't it? It's not Jedi.
Oh, that is. I'm talking the blaster.
Yeah. Oh, the blaster. Yeah. No, that's true. That's true. Yes. Yeah. Well, my blaster, I try and have it pretend like it's from all the movies, even though it's screen matched to Jedi. But yes. Yeah. But I am going to look at that, and I am 100% looking. This is something I have been waiting a very long time for, as I'm sure a bunch of other people have. The Charles Lippincott estate, I believe it's his widow, has been selling pieces over the last couple of years from his collection. Lippincott, we've spoken about before, was ostensibly in charge of all the marketing and stuff, but was so much more and so much a part of George Lucas's original key team. And this is something I have not seen much of, which are original hand-drawn. These are sketches by Alex Tavoularis. I don't know if that's exactly how you pronounce it, so I apologize to him. But you are seeing there, look at that early Vader. I think that might be Luke when she was a girl, when Luke, before Luke was Luke. The tower shot, that's 368, 367. I mean, this is something sort of, I've been trying to buy less, storyboard and Star Wars artwork, because I do have a lot of it. There's just no other way of saying it.
And great examples.
I have great stuff. Yes, exactly. Yeah. But to get a piece by this gentleman, and from Lippincott's collection, I find very cool as well. But to get a piece from this collection, and I think these things are going to go cuckoo as well. Sort of like, remember that time, like some of the Mobius alien stuff showed up, and it was going like, just like crazy numbers. I think this Vader one could go insane, but it's really wonderful. I think there's more of it. I think there is, maybe this begets more onto the market, but boy, oh boy, these are fantastic. And I am watching these, I guess, like a hawk, because this is something I've always wanted. I was aware these were in the Lippincott collection, and I always sort of wondered, will they ever be on the market? So anyway, they are now coming to sale. So
excellent,
a good cause, but amazing Star Wars art, and something that is not out there in a great way.
Yeah.
And then other stuff from his collection, marketing stuff, scripts and whatnot, all really, really cool stuff. I think different people have different things in their collection. People are missing different things, but kind of neat. I jumped to 375, which is Roger Christian's, his fourth draft script with notations from Star Wars.
Yeah.
Roger Christian, who built the lightsabers, among other things. That's a cool guy to have a script from, and this would be a cool script to have. And again, would be really curious about the notations and everything about it. So I'm just very, very interested. 376 is a really fascinating Macquarie sketch. I'm stopping here because oddly enough, I think I own I shouldn't say I think I own the other pieces as we've talked about before. I co-wrote the Ralph McQuarrie art book with Wade LaJost and Brandon Allinger, and in my collection from an auction many years ago when Ralph himself was selling some things, I picked up, I guess, the sister pieces to this, which are a front view of this early version of this sort of almost Metropolis-like
the
C-3PO.
Maria.
Yeah, the
3PO,
Maria,
yeah.
exactly. I have sort of the front version. I think I have a close-up of the head as well. And,
Oh, that's cool.
do I need this? Maybe not, but it's
But that is
certainly,
cool.
it's very
Completist.
neat. Yes, it's very neat, and it's very cool. And obviously, it's not just Ralph, but it's Ralph, Star Wars when they're figuring things out, as opposed to, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but obviously if he draws C-3PO in the later movies, he knows what C-3PO looks like. But there's, I love
the
things like
process.
this and the Tuvaleris piece, because you're seeing development of character, and that's part of what I like about them. These other Macquaries are nice as well. I just, like I said, that other one sort of jumped out for me.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
379. I'm just calling it out just because I finally got this poster, not this one, obviously, but
yep.
I bought a glorious example in the last prop store auction that was rolled and ostensibly kind of factory new and just great. And it's going into a very expensive frame as we speak, and I will share photos of it. But I'm so glad to have that. I really wanted to have that in the UK because it's always
that'll hang in UK. Yes, right.
Yes, correct. Yeah, I'm putting it up. It's going to be in our. We're moving. We have a cinema room in the new place, and this will be the kind of centerpiece of the cinema room.
That's fantastic. Very cool.
I'm very excited.
I'm jumping over a couple of things to 383. This is a piece. It's
been around.
It's been around. I've tracked it for a while. It's been a while since it's been in an auction. I think it just got restored. I've always liked it, or at least the idea of it. Obviously, it's the face that is the original part, and then it's on a casting of the full Tauntaun, of which I have a casting head of that as well, and they've sort of replaced the head of it, and it's huge, it's heavy the way the thing.
That's my Tauntaun sound.
That's actually a really good Tauntaun sound. But I have always liked this face. I don't know. I don't. Again, not necessarily loving the number, but again, welcome to Star Wars world. I mean, I think that's will the Disney new Star Wars land in Disneyland just should have like 100,000 on everything. That's because that to me is Disneyland. But I do like it, and I am watching it. Yoda hand, Bespin technician, Bespin guard. I'm sorry, not Bespin, Hoth. Sorry, Hoth technician. So sort of a snow hat, Bespin
guard jacket. Yeah.
The Norman Reynolds, Boba Fett.
That's cool. Could that go with your rocket firing Boba Fett?
This was around 5 or 6 years ago, and it didn't go with it that time either. Again, I'll circle it, and then I'll figure out a reason not to go for it.
I like the Rebel Trooper blaster from Hoth.
Yep, that's very distinctive. Very neat. Yep, very cool. I've got one of those in my fine collection, so I'll probably be not for me, but I think it's great. I love the wings, the fins on. Yeah. Very Star Wars.
Yes.
I thought this was kind of neat. Again, pieces of things. This is an R2 foot. Yes. From
Lot
Empire
390.
and I guess from Star Tours.
That's really cool.
Which makes sense. I guess Lucas had sent over a bunch of pieces, and for a while there were a couple of originals in there, and I guess this was one of them. Very, very cool. I mean, it's a foot, but it's cool, and you can put it with your C-3PO hand. I'll stare at this for a bit. I'll buy this and then I'll build a replica R2 around it.
Sell it for $2 million.
I'm stopping at 393. Production use slave costume. That's pretty cool.
That's cool. Yeah.
I want to read all the details and the pieces of what's exactly what, but
although they're scrubbing this out of the history.
Yes, more and more you don't ever get to see this anymore. But those of us who saw it will never forget it. So
which makes the piece more interesting.
And I understand why. She is not just that, but it was still
Right.
And dare I say, there was a reason. Not just because
Correct.
she is a girl, but it was very John Carter and a real sort of
Yeah.
Burroughs salute.
Yeah.
Which
It was a Frazetta
yes,
thing.
I
Yeah.
appreciated it for those reasons,
Yeah.
among
And
the other reasons.
and she killed her captor and then went off and won a fucking war. So what's the problem? Anyway, Millennium Falcon paint matte test artwork. I mean, I think that's kind of cool.
It's kind of cool. Yeah, that's kind of neat.
Goes in a frame well.
Yeah, I got a peek at that.
That's lot 396. Rogue One replicas. Moving on.
Yeah, now we're just into sort of, I guess, what are we calling these new ones? Because they're not sequels. What are they? I don't even know.
Modern,
the new stuff.
The television empire. I don't know.
Yeah.
Mandalorian.
Not for me. We'll move along.
Okay, we're out of Star Wars.
Supergirl, the Supergirl flying costume. It was interesting only because apparently it was a Superman cape that they cut down, which is
so crazy.
Just maddening. I mean, just the idea that the Salkins decided to save a couple of $100 by cutting a Christopher Reeve cape down. I want to just cry a little bit. Just sorry, and that's just sad. Yeah. It's a nice costume, Supergirl and whatnot, and luckily it has no head. But that makes me sad. So that gets us to the
406,
Reeve, the Superman costume.
It's so awesome.
It is incredible, and you can just pretend that the head isn't there, but it's incredible. It's an incredible costume. Can you read the details? I mean, they really get into what the pieces were. Yeah,
they detail and they show you all the labels, which is important because these things have been faked. I mean, I think that this one is a very well-known one. It's been gone over with fine-tooth comb, so there's no worries there. But I think it is important to know all that stuff and know, what movie are the boots from and what movie is the belt from and all that. And it seems like they've done all that research, but it's a hefty estimate. But I think, I think this particular, it's all in one. It's right there. It's in at 250 to 500,000. So it's definitely reaching for top market
what
value.
I will simply say is there's something fascinating about the fact that they have been, I'm sure there are people that have liked some of the movies, but they have really not been able to make a Superman movie. I mean, they just really have not. If we can all, the screenwriters in us probably think about, like, sometimes I'm sure you have, of like how I would do a Superman movie. And I'm not sure I'm right. I'm not sure I'm wrong, but there was something about that movie, that time. And by the way, Christopher Reeve, whose head is not quite as big as on that mannequin if you look at the picture. But anyway, there's a reason why this movie is this movie and that they have never been able to make another one quite like it. And I don't know, it is really, really great. Except for the mannequin head, but otherwise I think it will get that, and I think maybe even more. It's just pretty special.
Yeah, I could see that running, because usually you see components, but you don't see it all together. So
yeah. Support for The Stuff Dreams Are Made Of is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Their products are precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped's Performance Package, the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Join over 6 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code PROPSPODCAST. That's PROPSPODCAST, all caps, at manscaped.com. And if my math is correct, that's 12 million balls, or I guess counting that friend of mine, 11,999,999, because he got hit there when we were like 10 years old. But anyway, that's still a lot of balls. I'm jumping to the T2 Judgment Day jacket, the leather jacket.
God, that's awesome.
Really nice. Yeah.
It's a bullet hit jacket from T2. It was put into a charity auction in 91. So the year the film came out. And it has a letter accompanying it from Linda Hamilton saying what it is. And that is just great. And I think I think that makes this jacket, we see a lot of these I think that makes this one instantly more interesting than most of the others. It's
Also,
from it's marked from the period. There's studio provenance from the charity auction. There's the handwritten letter, and the jacket is like just the right amount of distress, because I don't think you want
so
a
funny.
perfect
That's exactly
one.
what I was going to say. Is we've seen some of these that are like either or look brand
like
new,
yeah,
and we've also seen ones that are so shredded it's like they're
it's not a costume
bullet
anymore.
ridden. Yeah, exactly.
This is perfect.
This is perfect. It really is. It's just exactly what you would want.
It's a great piece.
And yeah, the Hamilton letter I think pushes it over.
This is going on my this is going on my list, Dave.
Oh wow, okay.
I'm circling it.
This would pair very nicely with your other jacket.
With my punk jacket. Yeah.
That would be pretty incredible.
There's an endo arm.
A different endo arm. I think.
This has been around. This is a T2 one. The other one was T1. This has been around. But
still like
no
it.
less,
still like it. Yep. Still like it.
Number, but
again, this is again a movie I've something from these two movies. One of these days. Now that I'm not collecting Star Wars, one of the perhaps that day has come.
Thomas the Tank Engine, 424.
Okay.
So
yes,
that's an
beyond me. Even my kids never watched that one for whatever reason.
No, my kids never
toys. They just never cared.
Either. Transformers, Trick or Treat. I'm moving until I get inspired.
Flying,
Dave.
Yeah.
True Romance.
Treat. Where's True Romance? Troy. True Romance. Yes, those are some nice pieces. This is fun stuff. I mean, you don't get to see all of it, in close-ups, but nice stuff.
Christian Slater's screen matched license and bracelet
when they're trying to figure out his name or whatever, and very cool.
V for Vendetta.
I like 438. I bought the mask in the Joel Silver stuff out of the last Heritage, cool. And there was a full costume with blades, so I will do a little checking on these blades, but this might be nice just to go with the mask. And then I don't know why I don't know if you had this problem. It's not a problem. It's just I then thought 439. I was like, that doesn't exactly look like the V the V hat, but I guess it was different in real life. It was like, and I was like, oh, it's Van Helsing. Never.
Is that because it's Van Helsing's?
Yes, exactly. That it turns out that's why it doesn't look like the V hat.
Every time I hear Van Helsing, I just think of Jason Segel's vampire musical from Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and him singing about Van Helsing, which is more enjoyable than anything in that Van Helsing movie.
My only good memory of Van Helsing, I think I may have shared this with you once, is they were shooting Van Helsing in the giant central square of Prague when we arrived in Prague to do our pre-production.
Oh, for Eurotrip?
On Eurotrip.
Amazing.
And what they did what they had set up in the central square, and shot there for 2 weeks, I think cost more than our entire budget. It was kind of incredible.
Yeah. But which one is a cult classic now, Dave?
No, I think we won that actual battle. Van Helsing, that is a movie I watch and I couldn't even tell you what they thought they were doing. And I love The Mummy, and yet I don't, I don't even know what.
There's an awesome Van Helsing something out there to be made, but that was not it.
Yeah. I'm stopping at 443 for 3 seconds only because I've been on a weird I've been watching a lot of like 60s and 70s war movies, and I happen to have just watched Where Eagles Dare, and I will not be buying this because
this goes with your Nazi collection.
It does fit with my Nazi collection, although there's no swastika. Maybe on the sleeve. I need a better shot of the sleeve. Is there a swastika on it? But anyway, I do love. I watched that movie. And it was really enjoyable. It was really fun to watch Where Eagles Dare. Everyone should watch Where Eagles Dare, and then add this to your Nazi collection.
I like 442. I'm sorry. I'm an unapologetic Wayne's World fan.
I'm not.
I love the suck cut.
Fighting you. Yeah.
It sucks and it cuts. It definitely does suck. Just so good. And then we're into X-Men claws.
I will stop for 3 seconds. I think this 444, this Wonder Woman piece, is this another Warner Brothers?
I think it's a Warner Brothers piece. Yeah, which is why it's in there.
That first Wonder Woman is wonderful, and she's great in it, and at it, and I don't know. That's it's a nice piece, and to get it,
I see her around, Dave. sometime.
Is she working on your lot, or is she living near you?
Well, she would be, I guess, on Wonder Woman 3, but no, she's a resident of the area, so we see her
Very
around.
nice, very nice. But this is the chance. There's been so much stuff from this movie floating around that doesn't have paperwork. Where is it real? Was it just made? Who the heck knows? This has the Warner Brothers paperwork. If this is an opportunity. This is a
Yeah, and that's
probably
there you go. That's the
rare
thing.
opportunity. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's the thing to have.
Yeah.
And then
Yep.
X Claws.
And then X Claws, a new variety. I'm not sure I've seen the Deadpool long knuckle claw before, so that's there. Wolverine claws, yes.
And then we're out.
And then Victoria's crown. Sorry, and then we're out.
Well done, Dave.
Day one, a nice tight 2.5 hours show. So
2 hours.
What the fans want. We are trying, I know, but somehow failing. But we'll. I guess this one needed it.
The catalog is hard.
There's no other way to do the catalog. But let us know about this non-3, not doing the other days. I mean, like I said, we mentioned one or two things. I did look through. There's some odds and ends of interesting stuff.
You should definitely go in there because there is stuff to be had.
Check it out. Yes.
But I think it's a future recap thing where we talk about what we won at the auction.
We'll let you know if we won anything or if we noticed anything.
Days 3 and 4. And go check out the music auction too. It's not really doesn't fit in with the show, but there's definitely some interesting stuff in there. And it's cool to see Prop Store sort of branching out. And let's see how they do going into
yes,
music.
I'm curious more as just an observer, just because I get a kick out of all of it, but not stuff I buy. All right, well, perfect.
Well, what's the piece for you, Dave? I mean, if you had to...
Boy, that is a tough one. Well, I mean, like, I know you're not asking the big piece for me. I mean, like I said, I definitely am going to be looking at, like, some of that Lippincott Star Wars stuff, like the Tuvolaris and that, because it really, again, it's something I've been, like, wanting. So it's something I'm doing a little quick recap as we're looking through. Boy, it's tough. The biggest piece that I probably have circled is probably the Bible, the Shawshank Bible.
Yeah, cool.
Because I do think it's just pretty spectacular, and I've just always loved that movie and the opportunity, whatnot. There's other little things here and there, like the Dirk Diggler painting and whatnot. But I guess in terms of the biggies, I think that's something I'm certainly at least interested in sort of chasing or watching.
It's one of the best pieces in the catalog, for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty fantastic. The Modred Excalibur helmet was another one. That's maybe a bit of a biggie that I'll have my eye on as sort of a big circle.
Krull.
The Krull is a huge one. I'm hoping that's not a biggie. I'm hoping that I am semi alone in that world, or at least what I'll say is I know two other guys that actually both love Krull, but they literally both have other glaives that I'm very jealous of, and so hopefully they're not looking at this as an upgrade, or if they are, by the way, I would probably take their non-practical one in a second anyway.
You would downglaive?
Oh, yes, exactly. They would downglaive. I'm still upglaving because I have none, but they're the ones downglaving.
No, they're upglaving, and you're
right. I guess they're upglaving, and I'm
lateral glaving,
sloppy second glaving. I don't know. I know that's I don't know. That's those are the things I'm thinking about. How about you? Where's your head?
I mean, it's got the Batty coat is just outstanding. There's a lot of stuff I like. I like I would love to have one of those Raiders, the Covenant, the Ark of the Covenant drawings. And the T2 jacket does stick out to me. I don't think I'm getting two jackets in this auction, so they're hours apart. So let's see how it goes. But I mean, that Batty jacket is freaking incredible, and I'm haunted by it.
It is really insane.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, forgetting about other humans bidding that which I know will be a discussion, but just in the abstract, is that a piece you're prepared to go a little nuts on, or
I think so. I mean, I think that's definitely going to require a bigger number, and I think it's worth it for what it is. But I am I going to go into like territory of like the most I've ever spent on a piece? I don't know.
Right.
So we just have to see, but I'm sure I'll
fair answer.
I'm sure I'll be there.
Fair and judicious answer. Yeah.
Raising the paddle. It's an interesting one because it's not a Deckard piece.
No, it's You definitely have to be. You have to be a fan. You do have to be a fan.
Yeah, and that film hasn't, other than the Hero gun, which was 13 years ago at this point, it hasn't had. It doesn't live in that epic estimate hammer category. The photo match shirt went unsold, which I still think is really cool, and I would have been on it if I didn't have my shirt. So this is definitely better. This is probably the best thing that's come along since.
This is the greatest thing since. I completely agree. agree. Yeah.
But that does not yet feel to me like a big collector's film. It feels kind of culty and niche. So let's see. I think the estimate is, I think it's a cool, interesting estimate, because the estimate definitely does give room to run. It's not just trying to get it all in the first bid. So let's see what the action is.
And one last thing too is I'm going to be looking at that Bishop costume from Harry's collection. I mean, I think all of Harry's stuff is really great, but I probably that's definitely something I'm circling. Just to have. I don't know. I find it that hits a memory chord for me. So I actually really do dig that.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Should we play the game? Is there a movie that jumped out at you as we were going through this that there aren't props from that we should think about, that isn't Blade Runner or Star Wars or any of those? Is there anything that jumped out at you? Should we just randomly? What happens if I just go like this and just go? Phoom?
Yeah.
What is your dream piece from Kingsman: The Secret? No, it's not going to help us. Let me try again.
What about Shawshank? What about Shawshank? If you can't have the Bible, what is it for you?
Huh, that's interesting. The costumes, just because they have their names on it, is sort of something interesting to me, just because, that would be kind of cool. You know what I would honestly maybe pick is the postcard that Red gets at the end of the movie, where he, it's like the blank postcard with the postmark from whatever it is, Watanaho. Do you remember that thing at the end? It's just a very memorable of their relationship and all of that kind of stuff. And it would just be kind of nice. You could frame it. And I don't know, that's something that jumps out at me. Those would be things I would be thinking about. How about you? Not in a non-hammer, or let's get rid of the hammer and the Bible. Let's call that.
Yeah, no, I think the thing that I go to is the embroidered thing,
behind his desk.
The warden's thing, which
that's pretty great.
Kind of taunts him with later. That stands out. The uniforms are really cool. Yeah, it's a hard one, but what a great movie.
Yes, that's really, really cool. All righty. Well, fantastic. Please, as always, follow us on social media at Props Podcast on all your favorite social media.
Yep.
We've got a YouTube channel. Please subscribe there. Please download and subscribe to this podcast on whatever your podcast thing is, and rate us. Please rate us 5 stars, and also download and subscribe. That helps us. That helps us big time.
Yep.
So please do, and write us at
dreamsaremadeofpodcast@gmail.com. We want to hear what your thoughts are on our new catalog.
Do you appreciate the fact that we didn't waste your time as much or do you want more of your time wasted? Let us know. And look, there's nothing's in stone here. This was just because we're racing to get this up, just because we started so late. So it can easily come back. Is what I will simply say. It can easily come back.
And stay tuned, because we'll be coming back to talk about our wins and losses in this auction in the coming weeks.
Wins and losses, and then after that, I think, and then bringing Harry on to talk about what it's like to how he's feeling after the auction, which I think will be really interesting. So
Correct.
A lot to come, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.
See you next time, guys.